Well, he had ankle surgery in March, and he's back tonight here. It's the Carolina Panthers and Kansas City Chiefs, and Cam Newton's first action of the preseason. He is fired up. He'll play at least a quarter tonight. The third member of our broadcast team, Pam Oliver, down on the sideline. She's got Coach Ron Rivera.
Thanks a lot, Kevin. Well, Coach, you'll be watching everything and everybody, but a lot of eyes will be on Cam tonight. What will make for a good game for him?
You know, come out and be very consistent. You know, a couple of long drives, some real good decision making, and more so coming out healthy.
What about you that's not nervous about maybe the secondary and all those new faces on wide receiver? What about this situation doesn't make you as nervous as everybody else?
No, it really doesn't, just because I think we've got some good veteran leadership in there. I think Koch and Jason Avant are two guys that have come in and done a great job for us. And we got somebody that's real young and dynamic in Kelvin Benjamin. As far as the secondary is concerned, we got a couple of veteran safeties that are kind of taking charge and leading those young corners.
Appreciate your time, Coach.
All right, Pam. Thank you.
All right, we've got a new replay system in place, and Mike Pereira standing by in New York with more on that.
Hey, thanks, Pam. I'm in NFL Game Day Central. I'll be here all night long. 88 TVs in this room. When I left, there was only 10. Feeds from everywhere. The broadcast network, the replay booth, touchscreen technology. Boom, I can put up any shot I want to make decisions. That's how Dean Blandino and his staff are going to get involved in replay. Their goal is to make sure that referees make consistent decisions and they get made quicker. It's a great setup. Kevin?
All right, Mike, thanks very much. We'll be checking in with Mike tonight. So that is one of the big deals this year, John, is that command center will be in on replays with the referee, and hoping that they could speed things up in that process and see things maybe before the ref gets under the hood. There is Andy Reid. We heard from Ron Rivera, and Andy in his second year, and you can't do it any better. This Chief team won 2 games until he took over and brought them to the playoffs.
Well, the man, that was a wise hire by the Kansas City Chiefs. He came in, he instilled an instant energy. They went out, got Alex Smith, and they had a really good season. They faded towards the end, but they're very optimistic towards their fortunes this year in 2014, and it's so great being around Andy Reid and seeing him excited about coaching football in Kansas City.
Kansas City won the toss, and Carolina will get the ball because they deferred, so we will get to see Cam Newton right away on the big stage tonight here at Bank of America Stadium. And Cam ready to go. We're told somewhere around 15 to 25 plays. I think it depends on a couple things, how he feels and, quite frankly, how the line is blocking for him, too.
Well, Kevin, I tell you one thing. He looks the part. He walked in the meeting. We've been around him, and we try all the time to explain to people just how big of a human being Cam Newton is. I think he grew this offseason. He looks like a defensive end walking in the meeting room, and he's excited to play. All
right, so Panthers will start it off here. Ryan Suckup will kick it off. Kenyon Barner back deep to receive, along with Tyquan Underwood. We will get underway in Carolina. NFL is back on Fox. Glad to have you along on a Sunday night. And we are underway in Charlotte. And Suckup boots one way out of the end zone, and so the Panthers will start on their 20-yard line. And we'll get a chance to see the 2-time Pro Bowler coming off his best professional season. It's Cam Newton.
Well, Kevin, he had a fabulous season last year. The numbers weren't what they once were the year before, but this man could play, and I think he's really matured in terms of the mental part of the game, knowing what it takes to win and playing well in critical times during the game.
He won a division. He brought them to the playoffs where they lost to the 49ers in the divisional round. And we expect to see the starters for a while for both teams in this game. D'Angelo Williams is the tailback. Kelvin Benjamin, the rookie wideout from Florida State, top of your screen. Here's Williams. And he gets maybe a yard. So these Carolina Panthers last year, they started off slow, and people were calling for Ron Rivera's job, but they ripped off 11 wins in 12 games, including an 8-game win streak. Defense was spectacular. 60 sacks led the league. They allowed only 21 touchdowns, the fewest in the league, led by Luke Kuechly. And then a tough one, losing to San Francisco at home in the divisional round, 23-10.
1, 6,
Here's Newton, going to give to Williams again, and Williams scoots across the 25 to the 26. He's going to pick up 5. There's a lot of changes, John, for this Carolina team.
Well, there is, and it starts right there at the wide receiver position. Steve Smith, he's gone. Brandon LaFell, he's gone. Ted Ginn, he's gone. Now, that's the one thing you question. They're trying to take that next step. The theory goes you build around a franchise quarterback, and he loses his entire receiving corps, and he's hurt, so he doesn't get a chance to go through the offseason. We'll see if Cam Newton can make do with this group of wide receivers. He's a fabulous talent.
Blitz on a 3rd and 4. It's picked up. Now Newton in trouble. Running on that ankle. Backing up. And he's just going to throw it away. At heavy pressure that time. Chris Owens, the cornerback, on the blitz. And Carolina goes 3 and out.
Well, Bob Sutton, the defensive coordinator of the Kansas City Chiefs, talked with us yesterday, and he said, you can sit back against Cam Newton, but that's not very wise. We're going to come after him. And they do right away with the blitz, and they get Cam to throw it out of bounds. Good first series for the Kansas City defense.
Now watch this guy, DeAnthony Thomas, the rookie from Oregon. An 80-yard punt return for a touchdown last week in his debut against the Bengals. He can fly. Brad Nortman will punt it, coming off a career year where he sent franchise records. And this is a lunar lander. Man! But it's going to take a Chiefs bounce into the end zone, and so KC will start on their own 20 after a 74-yard punt. And so the Chiefs will take over, and we get a chance to look at Alex Smith. What a move for Kansas City to go and get him from the 49ers.
Well, all he does is win. You know, there's a lot of talk about his contract. Should they pay him? Pay the man. The guy is up there with the Peyton Mannings, the Drew Brees. Those type of guys are in the company he's in terms of winning, and I think that's the name of this game, is to win. That's what he does. He's had an incredible year for the Kansas City Chiefs last year.
Now, we told you in the open that Jamal Charles not with the team. He bruised his foot, so he was left back in Kansas City. And we'll see a lot of Niall Davis, second-year man from Arkansas, who's in the backfield right now. And Davis with a nice hut and a nice hole up the middle, and he's got a Chiefs first down with a gain of 11. So how about the Chiefs? 2 wins 2 years ago. They started off 9-0 under Andy Reid. The defense was stingy as can be. But then they hit a rough patch, to say the least. They played some better competition. 2-5. They kind of stuttered into the playoffs, but Alex Smith didn't stutter at all. A career year, a best in yards thrown, touchdowns for him. But the biggest thing for Kansas City is on first down, they're going to swing it to Fasano. And he's got a lot of room to run across the 45. And another first down. Big thing for Kansas City is they slumped into the gate at the end of the regular season. And they had this monster game in Indy with a huge lead and blew it in the playoffs.
And they're excited because they feel like they're healthy. And Anthony Fasano is a guy. They didn't get much production out of the tight end position last year. This is a tight end friendly offense. Anthony Fasano's healthy. They love Travis Kelce, the second-year player. They believe they're going to get a lot from the tight ends this year.
They were up 38-10 in the third quarter at Indianapolis, where they lost that game. Here's Niall Davis, who is buried backwards. Thomas Davis makes the hit. And we've talked so much about Thomas Davis, who's the only player to ever come back from 3 torn ACLs. But not only that, he was tremendous last year.
You watch Thomas Davis right here. This is how you play the linebacker position. You sit, you read, and then you go put the hit on him. That's what Thomas Davis does so well.
Smith looking for Dwayne Bowe, and he's got a reception that should be enough for a first down.
You just saw an element of Alex Smith's game right there that's severely underrated. He's got great arm strength. A lot of people don't give him credit for that for whatever reason. Talking with Andy Reid yesterday, this is a plus arm, and he deserves to be given credit for it.
So the Chiefs have themselves a nice little drive. 3 first downs. And DeAnthony Thomas, the rookie from Oregon, in the backfield. There he is. Play clock at 2. And see if they got it off. Yeah, they did. Timeout. So Smith calls the first timeout for Kansas City. Chiefs on the move in their opening possession. No score here in Charlotte. We're back in Charlotte, preseason week number 2. Football back on Fox. So glad it is, and glad to have you along. Scoreless Panthers and Chiefs, but on the first possession for Kansas City, they're moving. They picked up 3 first downs. And in Carolina territory, down at the 42. Smith is going to dump it off. Here's Davis on the screen, and we get a couple of flags. He loses yardage on the play, but let's see what the penalty is. It was Luke Kuechly in on the tackle.
Holding, offense, number 73. 10-yard penalty, replay, first down.
They catch Zach Fulton, the rookie from Tennessee, on the hold, and there, that left hand right there. You extend those arms out, they're going to get you every time. Gets a handful of jersey. The officials all over it.
Well, that is going to make it first down and 20. Jerome Boger is our referee for tonight, by the way. This Chiefs offensive line lost 3 players from last year. Fake to Davis, and the ball is tipped. He had Fasano wide open, but tipped at the line. I think it was Kuechly who got his hands on it.
That's what great players do. Right there, Luke Kuechly, he's fooled. Watch him. He's going to step up on the play action by Alex Smith. But if you get fooled, go ahead and make a play somehow, some way, and that's exactly what Luke Kuechly. The instincts on this guy, Kevin, Defensive Player of the Year last year. He is a joy to watch play football. In my mind, unquestioned the best linebacker in football right now. Fabulous, and when you meet with him, you understand why. He's a student of the game, has an ability to simplify the game and just go play.
Only his 3rd year. Smith, he's got Davis open, bobbled, but then recovers. And he's going to be tackled somewhere around the 46-yard line. Going to bring up a 3rd down and long.
There's Luke Kuechly. You talk about a tackling, intercepting force on the field. He patrols the middle behind a fabulous front, and they let him roam along with Thomas Davis, and he does it as well as anyone I've seen in a long time. Interesting talking to him. He said he's surprised how much success he's had this early in his career, but I think everybody's not going to be surprised anymore.
Big crowd noise for a preseason game as Smith on 3rd down. And he gets Davis again. Niall Davis going to be shy of the first. He gets it down about the 36.5 for Thomas Deku, the former Atlanta Falcon. Now at safety for Carolina, makes the stop. They're going to bring on Ryan Suckup here. We're going to try a long field goal. Colquitt, the punter, is the holder. This will be a 54-yarder for Suckup. 22 of 28 last year. And he's got it. 54-yard field goal for Ryan Suckup, and he is in a battle, by the way, with Cairo Santo for that field goal job, so that will help. Suckup from 54 puts the Chiefs on the board. And it's 3-0 Kansas City over Carolina. Here in the first, Alex Smith looking sharp early.
Tonight's game on Fox is sponsored by AT&T, mobilizing your world.
Nice drive by the Chiefs on their opening possession. 8 plays, 44 yards, and a 54-yard field goal for Ryan Suckup, who will kick it off right here. He kicked the first one out of the end zone, and this one is going to be in the same place. Barner catches, but on the end line. And so Carolina will start their second possession on the 20, down 3-0, with Cam Newton, his first game back from ankle surgery. Think he's happy to be back? I'd say yeah.
Tonight's game on Fox is sponsored by Papa John's, official pizza sponsor of the NFL, and by Corona, who invites you to find your beach.
Warm nights in Charlotte as the Panthers and the Chiefs going at it tonight. And Cam Newton will have his second possession starting off at the 20. 3-0 Kansas City. Newton's got a whole host of new receivers this year. He's going to throw his second pass. And he's going to dump it off for Williams. Nice move, D'Angelo Williams out across the 25. John, you know, it's pretty rare that a team loses their top 4 wide receivers in one offseason. Well, that happened here.
They sure did. And, you know, the philosophy typically is you have a franchise quarterback emerging, as they do with Cam Newton. You're going to keep these guys around him. They lost Steve Smith, the franchise best. They lost LaFell. But here's the new guys, Cotchery, Avant, and Benjamin. I think they're taking a big leap of faith. Two guys that are arguably number 3s, and then Kelvin Benjamin, a rookie, who they need to emerge as the number 1 for them to be successful here in Carolina this year.
Cam tipped in the air and nearly intercepted. Derek Johnson got the hand on it. I think Malcolm Bronson would have intercepted it, but they kind of collided with each other in a third down.
You talk about good football players. Derek Johnson's one of those. Watch him read the eyes of Cam Newton. Sees that it's going to be a quick game. Goes right to the alley. Should have had an interception touchdown, and I know Derek's going to be lamenting that later on. But Derek Johnson had a fabulous season for the Kansas City Chiefs and Andy Reid last year. Really excited about this season.
It's a 3rd and 5. Newton coming near side, looking for Cotchery, but he overthrew him by a good margin, and another 3 and out for Carolina.
Well, there's a couple of things. He's got a whole new receiving core. He's also got a new offensive line up front. Right there, the pocket collapses a little bit, and Cam's strong enough he can get that throw off, but it affected the accuracy of that throw.
Yeah, that's why this is so important, not only for Cam healthy, but to get some sort of chemistry going with all these new receivers. So Nortman will punt it away. He had a 74-yard punt his first time. And he gets it off to Anthony Thomas, waiting for it at the 16. Thomas up across the 25 and then gets gang tackled and thrown to the ground. That's what you have to do to corral him. Brandon Williams, the first one there. This stout Carolina defense led by Luke Kuechly back on the field. We come back 3-0 KC. Good chance those Carolina receivers are wearing name tags right now. Hey, how you doing? I'm Taekwon Underwood. I mean, they're all new, so they're all getting to know each other. And Cam Newton talking things over, trying to get on the same page. So here's the Chiefs with their second possession. It's Niall Davis. Nice move by Davis. Going to pick up 7 on that first down.
You know, when you're the Kansas City Chiefs, Andy Reid, and talking to him yesterday, they're without Jamal Charles today. He feels like they got to lessen the load a little bit on Jamal Charles, or they're just going to simply wear him out. They know they have a weapon in Niall Davis who can play at a high level. He's a big guy, 225 pounds, that can run about 4.3, so he's got the skill, and they want to utilize it more this season.
Not much room that time as Kuechly in on the play. Well, you know, it's interesting. I mean, Davis, he really got a trial by fire in that playoff game against Indy. Charles got concussed early, and Davis came in, did a pretty good job, and then he actually got hurt late in the game, and Cyrus Gray was in. You don't expect your third running back to be in a playoff game, but see if Reid can use him a little more. On a 3rd and 6. Pressure, and Smith delivers while getting hit to Bowe, and Dwayne Bowe has got a first down for Kansas City. He's up to the 49-yard line, 18-yard gain.
This is what Alex Smith brings to the table. The pocket is collapsing around him. This ferocious Kansas City defense. He hangs tough. He knows he's going to get hit, delivers in stride to Dwayne Bowe. And that's another element that Alex Smith brings to the table. A toughness, a poise about him. He's got the entire package. For whatever reason, he was the #1 pick. Didn't have instant success. I think people doubt him. It's time to stop doubting Alex Smith.
Another first down for the Chiefs. Flags fly. Smith going to hurl it deep, and it's tipped away. He's looking for Donnie Avery. Melvin White was there to knock it away. And let's see what the penalty is.
Smart by Alex Smith. He knows he has an offsides. Go ahead, take the shot. You got a free pass at taking a shot downfield. That's exactly what he does.
Offside, defense, number 95. 5-yard penalty, replay first down.
All right, there you go. You know, John, Dwayne Bowe's made a couple catches, including that last one, and the Chiefs just getting the news yesterday. He's suspended for the first week of the season for violating the league's substance abuse policy. So they're going to be without him for at least for 1 week, and he hasn't had the greatest of camps. His finger's been bothering him too. He reads saying it's been a big issue. Here's Davis. He's going to be a little shy of a first down. You know, for Bowe, it's got to sign a big deal. He signed a $56 million deal last year, so he's got to be the guy here.
He does, and he is their clear number one. They like him. They don't like the suspension and the things that led to the suspension. Dwayne Bowe apologized, but he's far enough along in his career, 8th year. You can't be making mistakes. You sign a deal like that, you owe it to your team to be accountable on and off the field. They're going to miss him week 1, and they're going to miss him sorely because they don't have another guy who truly is a number 1 at this point.
That's Bowe, bottom of your screen, and here's Davis on a 2nd and 1, and he is dropped for a loss. Melvin White, heck of a play and a loss of 3.
It's one thing the Carolina Panthers do throughout their defense. They tackle well. And Ron Rivera talks about you can look at a defense and see the identity by looking if their cornerbacks will tackle. Well, here's a cornerback, and watch this tackle in space. Fins off the left tackle, keeps his feet. That's good fundamental football. Stays on his feet, attacks downfield at the outside leg. Melvin White, outstanding play.
3rd down and 4. Smith on the sprint, and he overthrows Hemingway, and we get multiple flags from the secondary. We'll see what the penalty is, and there have been just an inordinate amount of flags this preseason. It's been discussed a lot.
There's no foul for illegal contact. The quarterback has scrambled outside the pocket. Incomplete pass. 4th down.
And that's exactly it. Defensive holding and illegal contact has been the focus this preseason.
It has, and there's been a bunch of them. It's a point of emphasis for the NFL. Talking to Mike Pereira before the game, the league really thinks that next week's the game to watch in the first half because that's when the starters are going to be playing. Typically the mock game, you see the amount of penalties. We've had points of emphasis like this before. When I was playing, they had them, but the numbers have never been like this. They're really trying to get their point of emphasis across. But good job right there. When the quarterback is out of the pocket, there no longer is illegal contact down the field. You can put your hands on those receivers.
You see the other points of emphasis this season. Offensive line movement, meaning can't have linemen rolling up on the legs of other people. That's a penalty now for clipping. Sportsmanship, trash talking is going to be watched. And we told you earlier how the command center back in New York is going to be in on these replays, trying to speed things up with the referee here at the game. So after that, the Chiefs will punt it away. And Philly Brown is back to receive for Carolina. And with the departure of Ted Ginn, they need some help on the return game. So they are hoping that Philly can be the guy, or at least one of the guys. It's Colquitt. End over end. Brown's going to let it drop, and it takes Carolina bounce. And the Chiefs will down it right there inside the 20. 3-0 Kansas City. It's Carolina football when we come back. Welcome back to Charlotte. 3-0 Chiefs. Carolina football. Mike Pereira joins us from New York in the command center. Mike, we're talking about all these flags, and you heard what John just said. Can you give us your opinion about how things are being done right now with the officials and all these flags we're seeing in the secondary especially?
Well, I mean, I think they're doing what they were told to do, which is to make an emphasis out of this. And, you know, and I think as John started to make the point, to me, the big key is going to be next week when the ones play the ones for the entire first half. And then I think you'll really see the number come down. Now, both are going to have to adjust a little bit. Players have to adjust to the point of emphasis and to the rule, and the officials, too, are being told by Dean Blandino, break it down plays. This is and this isn't. So I really think, although the numbers are excruciatingly high right now, it'll reach a level that is clearly acceptable.
That makes sense, Mike. I appreciate that. I'm sure we will hear from you in just a little bit. Meanwhile, it's Newton. On a second down, airing out. There's Benjamin, and he overthrew him. Kelvin Benjamin was wide open. and Newton just missed him.
Well, there perhaps is that timing. Cam Newton hasn't been on the field, doesn't know what kind of wheels. He knew what Steve Smith had, doesn't quite know what Kelvin Benjamin has. He overthrows him a little bit. Great job by Benjamin getting the separation. Cam Newton says, all right, we'll get that in time, but that's the challenge the Carolina Panthers have. Steve Smith is no longer here. Kelvin Benjamin has to emerge. They haven't had the time on the field to get in sync. It's going to reveal itself early in the season. They're playing a game of catch-up, and they can't catch up fast enough.
This guy is enormous, 6'5", 240, and he's a wide receiver. Blitz coming. Newton in trouble, down he goes. And so the Chiefs on the blitz with Hussein Abdullah, the safety, get the sack, and the third 3 and out for Carolina.
Well, Bob Sutton said, we're going to come after him, and he's a man of his word. Because Hussein Abdullah coming here, Chris Owen off the edge does a great job of keeping him within the pocket, not allowing Cam to get outside. I love the way this Kansas City defense attacks. You can't sit back against a great athlete like Cam Newton. You got to come after him and have the courage to do so. Tough thing to do.
Doesn't look like a completely vanilla game plan in week 2, does it? They're blitzing left and right, Kansas City. Norton in the punt. Thomas at the 32. Breaks 1 tackle. Look at Thomas's speed. Man, he is so fast. And he's up around the 48-49 yard line, where the Chiefs will have great field position on their third possession. Hey, Saturday, August 30th, college football returns to Fox as Cody Kessler, the 15th-ranked USC Trojans, begin a new era. They take on upset-minded Fresno State. Coverage begins at 6:30 Eastern on Fox and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. All right, so we've seen Newton a little bit rusty in his first game back since the surgery. We've seen KC's defense bringing the heat. And we've seen Alex Smith having a nice start for this Kansas City offense, up 3-0.
Well, Alex Smith talked about last week they didn't convert on third down. They wanted to establish some rhythm and start to work off that as the season draws near. They've done that well. They got to finish these drives now.
Time for Smith, and he's got Bo wide open. Dwayne Bo, his third catch of the day, and he's down to the 31.
That's just a pretty design of a play. You see Dwayne Bo come in motion, sells the route like he's going inside, cross the field, instead breaks out. There's a void in the zone. Alex Smith on time, accurately thrown football. Tremendous execution by the Kansas City Chiefs.
You know, John, the first preseason game, and again, it's preseason, I get it, but the first teamers for Kansas City had 3 possessions, 33 yards. Well, here we are, first quarter. They've got 99 yards. It's Avery in motion. Going far side, it's Bo again. Well, they're working Dwayne Bo, and he lays down the wood there. Melvin White gets knocked over. Gain of 6.
Well, Dwayne Bo is a specimen. No one's ever doubted that. He's a big man playing the receiver position at 220 pounds, and Melvin White just figured that out.
Well, they'll have to do without him for the first game because of the suspension, but Dwayne Bo looks in midseason form. Smith with time, and he's got Thomas, and there's a flag. It will be a first down, but we got to see what the penalty is.
Pass interference. Offense, number 80. 10-yard penalty. Replays, second down.
It's on Anthony Fasano, the tight end.
Now, this is one thing that the league has been promising. It's not just the defense we're picking on. Here's Anthony Fasano. We're going to see him come across the field, put the block right there on Thomas Davis. That frees up DeAnthony Thomas. That's why he has so much space. Can't do that. Got to be a little more discreet. Offensive players call them rub routes. Defensive players call them picked. And Thomas Davis says, good call, Mr. Official.
That was not a rub. That was a full-on collision, John.
Nothing to rub about that.
Per se. Second down and 14. And we get a timeout on the field. And Chiefs have called their second timeout. Kansas City on the move again, and Well, it's the second week of the preseason, and it's fascinating because these teams have for playoff teams, they have so many questions to answer, right?
Yeah, you know, this shows the business side of football. They have great success. Carolina gets to the playoffs 12-4, Kansas City 11-5, but the business side results in them losing a lot of players, and so you got to go kind of redefine yourself as a team. Kansas City's looking really good right now. They've got to redefine this offensive line. Alex Smith has had plenty of time. He looks in midseason form. For Cam Newton, like we expected, going to take some time to get used to these new receivers, and I think you have to question the Carolina Panthers. I get the business side. You had to pay Greg Hardy. You're going to have to pay Cam Newton at some point, but if you're building around Cam Newton, give him some of his receivers, give him some familiarity, and it's going to be interesting to watch to see how long that process takes.
Well, Alex Smith, who in his first year was terrific last year, the second and down. Smith, and he steps up, avoids the pressure, and hits Donnie Avery. And Avery should have a Kansas City first down, 15 yards on the hookup.
And this is another impressive part of Alex Smith's game, his athleticism. He ran for 431 yards, but you watch him work the pocket. He's going to get pressure from the outside from Charles Smith. Steps up, protects the football, eyes downfield, and delivers a strike to Donnie Avery. That's big-time football at the quarterback position.
Well, Smith is 8 of 10 for 99 yards so far. Blitz coming. Smith gets hit as he throws and completes another one while he's hit. It's Fasano who is down inside the 5. 16-yard gain and a first and goal.
And again, Alex Smith going to sell the play action. The pocket starts to collapse. Anthony Fasano works the zone, throws it exactly where it needs to be. And we talked about the toughness earlier. Holding strong in that pocket, knowing you're going to get hit by the reigning defensive player of the year in Luke Kuechly. And we'll see if that is a catch. Rivera got the flag out.
He may not have caught that one. Jerome Boger, as Andy Reid is going to say, hey, let's watch.
See the ball.
Carolina is challenging the rule on the field of a completed catch.
That's not a catch. That will come back. You see, before he has maintained clear control, you got to control it through the process of going to the ground, and the ball hits right there. The ball comes loose. I think that will come back. And a good challenge by Ron Rivera in midseason form.
Yeah. Rivera throws a challenge flag. He's going to win it. You know, the ball can touch the ground if you have control and a grip, but you can see it bounces.
Right there.
Yeah. Nice use of your new toy over there.
Yeah, I got all kinds of new toys. The fine folks at Fox give me a new telestrator. I'm figuring out how to use it, but we'll be in midseason form before we know it.
When are you going to use that red vortex thing? I like that one. Can you show it?
Let me show you this. I don't know how to use this, but look at that watch of Ron Rivera.
That's fantastic. I love it. That is great.
Technology, you got to love it.
You know, while they look at this, and again, remember now, Boger's communicating with the command center in New York City. John, Alex Smith, right? We sung his praises. He played great in the playoff loss. His contract's up after this year. And the big question is he a franchise quarterback? Do you give him franchise money? I say absolutely. What's your take?
I say it's not even a question. I know it's hard to stomach. The cost of doing business with quarterbacks in today's football, it's expensive. You're going to have to pay Alex Smith a lot of money, but who else are you going to get that's going to be better for the Kansas City Chiefs? Everything I've heard from the I had one coach on the field say we're 5-11 team without Alex Smith last year. Wow. They went 11-5. So I know the coaches on Kansas City. I know the players believe in Alex Smith. I think it's just finding the right way to get the deal done. Alex is probably asking for a lot because he has leverage. And he should, but I think it's imperative that they get this deal done.
Well, he's 30 years old. You know, this is going to be his big deal here. And he wins, you're right. I mean, since 2011.
After reviewing the play, it is an incomplete pass. The ball touched the ground when the receiver rolled over. It'll be 2nd down and 10 on the 20-yard line.
Finishing the
reset
thought
game
since
clock to
2011.
1 minute, 20 seconds.
All right, Drum, just finish the thought. Since
1:20 on the game
2011,
clock.
he's got the 4th best winning percentage among quarterbacks in the NFL. Let's go to New York. Mike Pereira joining us now. Mike, all these shiny new toys that you're dealing with, watching this replay, what did you see?
Great new technology here. Everything's in a touch screen. You can take it, and Nick, take me to a couple of good shots here, and you go right here. Dean and everybody here looking. You're absolutely right. He didn't have one more shot. Give me another look. Comes again, gets this second look. All of this immediately available here to New York. They consulted with Jerome Boger, made the right call, and did it pretty quickly. Got it reset too.
Meanwhile, D'Anthony Thomas on the catch, and Antoine Cason with a great tackle and a loss of 5.
One thing that great defenses, and I would characterize Carolina as just that, second-ranked defense in the league. You may catch some balls, but here come the Sharks. And you watch, D'Anthony Thomas gets it, but here comes Cason. Thomas Davis right behind him. They come in floods. They're very fast, and they're a sure-tackling football team.
Cason signed a 1-year deal coming over from the Cardinals. There's Sean McDermott. Came over from the Eagles after he was let go by Andy Reid, but it was Reid who placed the call to his buddy Ron Rivera and said, hire this guy. Good move. 3rd down. They're going to set up a screen. It's Cyrus Gray, and he is belted. Cason again, the cornerback, with another nice tackle.
I want you to watch the culture of this defense. Watch DeJuan Edwards, a veteran in his 11th year. Antoine Cason makes the play, but look at that hustle. These defensive linemen downfield, that's how you become a great defense in this league. As much as it's about scheme, it's more about your effort. Are you going to run to the football? Are you going to pay the price to be special? And I think this Carolina defense is on the verge of being just that.
Meanwhile, that takes us to the end of the first quarter from Charlotte. We've seen some defense here today. Chiefs up on the Panthers, 3-0 after 1. Kansas City up on Carolina 3-0. Week 2 of the NFL preseason with football back on Fox. Quarterback comparison, well, it's no comparison right now. Alex Smith playing great, and Cam Newton rusty in his first game back.
Yeah. And I think Ron Rivera is going to have to fight the urge to keep Cam Newton. Remember, Cam coming off that ankle surgery. You want to keep him in there to get the timing down with his receivers, but you got to be prudent in your decisions.
Ryan Suckup has a 54-yard field goal. Here's Cairo Santos. He's got a legit chance to win the job, and he's got a 44-yard field goal. So a couple of field goals for the Chiefs. And it's 6-0. How about these Carolina Panthers? Well, we know the year they had last year. 12 wins, went to the playoffs. But strangely enough, they had some cap issues. So GM Dave Gettleman had to try and figure out how to work it all in, essentially. They lost the left side of their offensive line. 2 guys retired, including Jordan Gross, tremendous. And they lost all 4 wide receivers who caught a pass last year.
Yeah. Here's what you have in Carolina. You've got an outstanding head coach. You've got a top-flight defense, and that's going to remain so with that front 7 that they have. You got Cam Newton. What are you going to have around him? Kelvin Benjamin, we're hearing great things, but he's a rookie. He hasn't proven it. I talked to Ricky Prohl down on the field. Ricky Prohl knows wide receivers in this league. He did it for 17 years. He said, John, he's got everything you want. He's got to go do it. They're taking a giant leap of faith. Jericho Cotchery's a pro, but he's a 3rd receiver in my mind.
Right.
And the same with Jason Avant. So I think you're taking a big gamble in stunning the growth of your franchise quarterback by not surrounding him with the talent that I think he deserves.
That's Kenyon Barner back to receive. He and Tyquan Underwood back there. Santos has kicked much shorter than Suckup's. Here's Barner. Barner gets a couple good blocks, still on his feet, and out across the 30 is Kenyon Barner. Well, here is the offseason for these Carolina Panthers. Their left tackle, Jordan Gross, tremendous Pro Bowler last year, suddenly retired. That surprised them. Steve Smith, the cap casualty, released. And that's a guy who was here who's an icon in Carolina. Cam Newton, ankle surgery that came in March. Then their best pass rusher, Greg Hardy, with legal issues on domestic abuse. Not good. Cam Newton, ankle surgery, first appearance for him is tonight. And so he takes over. And Newton's still in the game, 1 of 5 throwing the football. Carolina's only got 1 yard so far. Here's Jonathan Stewart. his first carry. And it's a good one. Jonathan Stewart into Chiefs territory.
Kevin, I've long been of the opinion the Carolina Panthers are a different team when Jonathan Stewart is healthy. You watch Jonathan Stewart run. He's got everything you want. He's got the size. He's got a center, Pro Bowl center, and Ryan Khalil making great blocks. He's a great pass blocker, great receiver. The problem is he's never healthy.
Yeah.
He's got to stay healthy to give Cam and the Carolina Panthers. And who is that? That's Jordan Gross, the left tackle, down to 230 pounds from the 310 he played at just 6 months ago.
That's unbelievable.
It really is.
He lost a ton of weight. Can't play left tackle anymore with that weight. Newton on first. Guns one over the middle. It's Ed Dixon, the former Raven tight end, who's the backup here to Greg Olsen. And a first down.
And this is important. Get your quarterback in some rhythm. He hasn't been out there with his team. It's important to get him in sync with these new receivers. And here's another one of them. He plays the tight end position. Ed Dixon from Baltimore. Cam Newton getting in sync with not only his receivers, but his new tight end.
Should point out Greg Olsen's a very good tight end. He's their starter, dealing with a little bit of a calf issue, so we haven't seen him tonight. At the 38, Newton. He's going to unload it deep, looking for the big one, and it's incomplete. We got a late flag. He's looking for Jason Avant, the former Eagle, and a penalty down at the 7-yard line.
There's Avant working against Parker. Some hand fighting down the field. And they're going to be tight on these things. There is an emphasis on it. You see him have that
Pass interference. Defense, number 38. Not playing the ball. Spotted foul. Automatic. First down.
And I think that's a penalty. Last year, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, he grabbed the left arm. He panicked. You got to locate the football, not panic at the defensive back position. And Ron Parker, who's competing for a starting job with Sean Smith himself right now.
Parker had a rough game last week. He got beat deep by A.J. Green. Sean Smith, who kind of sunk down in the second level, has made some strides, and that time with the penalty. So, first and goal for the Panthers. 32-yard penalty with Stewart in the game at running back. And we get a flag.
There's no foul on the play. We have a timeout, Carolina. They're first. This is a 30-second timeout.
So the Panthers call a timeout. Have to think this is the last series for Cam Newton here, John, right? I mean, you talked about it. You have to fight there to kind of keep him in, but this has got to make him feel good, at least looking a little better here on this series.
You want him to feel good. You want your team to feel good about yourself. But Ron Rivera went in with the plan. No more than 25 plays. We're approaching that number. And you got to be smart. And as much as this is the preseason, and you want to get all that timing down, but you got to also know he's coming off an ankle injury. I would expect they'd play him this series, maybe one more, and then it's on to Derek Anderson.
There is Rivera, the coach of the year. One of the guys he used to work for, Andy Reid, who he was there for 5 years in Philly under Reid, who, by the way, was second in the coach of the year voting. What did Andy Reid say about Rivera? They had him in the graveyard last year at 1-3, but he found his way out. Ron Rivera sure did.
I'm going 5-3.
First and goal. It's Tolbert. And Mike Tolbert's going to pick up about 3.
One thing Carolina can do, they just keep throwing running backs at you. Cam calls them the 4 horsemen. Himself, D'Angelo Williams, Jonathan Stewart, and Mike Tolbert, a fullback slash halfback. They're loaded at the running back position, but they got to produce. Ron Rivera talked about we have to run the football better as running backs. Cam Newton led the team in 6 games last year as the rusher. They don't want that. They want these running backs to really emerge, and that includes the offensive line blocking well for them.
This is Stewart. Fights off the tackle. He's in. Touchdown, Jonathan Stewart and the Panthers.
the element that Jonathan Stewart brings, the tough running. This guy's a strong runner. Hit at the line of scrimmage. Derek Johnson, a Pro Bowl football player, bounces right off him, still not on the ground, all the way into the end zone. They got to be hoping that Jonathan Stewart can stay healthy, because they clearly are a better football team when he is.
And this is the last week in the preseason. They've done it for the first two, that they have this experimental extra point where they're snapping it from the 15, and it equates to being a 33-yard field goal. Now, how about this? In these 2 weeks, seven have been missed already. Here's Gano, and that one is right down the middle. So the experiment, you could say, is working. First touchdown of the game, Jonathan Stewart, D'Angelo Williams, and Cam is happy. He's got the Panthers in front of the Chiefs. Yeah, bummer. Sorry, Dontari.
Tonight's game on Fox is sponsored by McDonald's. I'm loving it. And by Sin City, A Dame to Kill For. In theaters everywhere Friday.
Panthers put together a nice drive after 3 3-and-outs. 4 plays, 66 yards. Jonathan Stewart, a 2-yard run. Huge pass interference penalty. Set it all up as Newton threw deep for Jason Avant. That put him inside the 10. So it's 7-6, and Graham Gano got a booming leg. Will kick it off. This one is going to be taken on out by Niall Davis. Got a flag flying on this one. Davis has to. There's about 7 flags in the field, so I have a feeling this might be coming back. Good return by Niall Davis, but something went wrong there. Meanwhile, there's a Chief down on the ground. Is that Junior Hemingway, 88? Yes, it is. He's their slot receiver.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both against the receiving teams. Illegal block in the back, receiving team, number 88, that penalty is declined. Holding, receiving team, number 51, half the distance to the goal. Kansas City keeps the ball. First down.
There's the hold by Frank Zombo right here. Then we got the block in the back by Junior Hemingway. Take your pick. The ball goes back. But Kansas City, Kevin, it's interesting. We talked to them. Where do they need to get better this year? Their whole focus in training has been finishing. When you think about tonight, they've moved the ball fabulously. They haven't finished drives, so Andy Reid's going to have something to continue to harp on with his players.
They started out on their own 8. And Smith on the fake, being pursued, and throws it incomplete. He was looking for Donnie Avery.
Luke Kuechly, it just seems like anywhere you look on a field, in the backfield, covering receivers, he's all over the place. He's just a really fun football player to watch.
You know, it's interesting because we've seen Kuechly in the backfield a couple times now. He hit Smith on the last time he had the completion. What did he tell us yesterday when you asked him, hey, what did you do this offseason? How do you want to get better?
He wanted to improve as a pass rusher. He only had 2 sacks last year. He's jealous of his buddy Thomas Davis, who had 4. And like great players do, they identify something they can get better at. Defensive player of the year, he's talking about where he can improve.
Going to swing it to Davis, and Davis turns on the Jets and steps out of bounds. He's going to be up at the 14-yard line, so it'll be a 3rd down and short. Well, imagine that. The defensive player of the year is going to get better as a pass rusher. What did he say? He said, you know, what happened is last year I'd get in and the running back would get me and I'd get stuck on the running back. So, John, as a guy that rushed a quarterback, how do you get unstuck in that situation?
I think I should have had about 15 more sacks because I got stuck a lot. So I think he's wise to address this early in his career. He watched film of Thomas Davis, his teammate, Navarro Bowman, one of the better pass rushing linebackers in the league. And I guarantee a guy like Luke Kuechly, when they make a point of getting better at something, they will.
And we get flags before this one gets going.
False start. Offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
It's on Donald Stevenson, the right tackle. And this Kansas City offensive line is the youngest in the National Football League, and they've got 3 new starters.
Yeah, I think they were the youngest last year. And Andy said we're still the youngest. We just got younger.
Stevenson, the right tackle. Last year's #1 overall pick, Eric Fisher, is the left tackle now. Third and 8. Smith in trouble, going to run it. And Smith slides down. And he has got a first down.
And there it is, the play within the play. Another dimension that Alex Smith brings you. 3rd and 8. A great front for the Carolina Panthers. They collapse the pocket. He looks to find a way to get out of that pocket. He does. Remember, rushed for 431 yards last year and threw for over 3,000 yards. He wants another flag, but nice try, Alex. He got the first down. Stop begging.
Josh Norman was coming in hard there, but Smith eluded him, and a 1st and 10. Fake to Davis. They're going to set it up to Kyle Williams, and he is down immediately. 3rd nice play tonight from Antoine Cason, former Cardinal.
Tackling in space, that's what this league has become. The more we're seeing these spread offenses, you have to be able to do it. Antoine Cason putting on a clinic. Kevin, as you said, the 3rd time, it's good technique. Head up, bringing the arms, holding on to those legs and getting the guy down. Tough to do in space.
Carolina's only got 1 returning player in their secondary, Melvin White. Cason's new. They've got Thomas Deku from the Falcons and Roman Harper from the Saints, who's currently hurt. Smith in trouble, gets it away in time. Nice play, knocked away. It was Josh Norman. And a little jawing with he and Dwayne Bowe.
Surprised Josh Norman didn't get a flag right there. We talked about the point of emphasis.
And Thomas Davis got right over there. I mean, I'm not talking about a guy that's the leader of the D. He and Kuechly, he got right over there. They'll throw you a penalty for that this year.
There you go. And he's letting him have it, and as well he should. And I asked Sean McDermott, who's the leader of this defense? Remember, his buddy was the defensive player of the year, but unquestioned leader of this defense, Thomas Davis.
Third down 9. Blitz coming. Smith, and he goes down. Davis, Kuechly, whoever. They both get it done, and the Chiefs will punt.
Well, we just talked about Luke Kuechly working on another facet of his game, and here it pays off. Sean McDermott, the defensive coordinator, looking down with pride, but watch Luke Kuechly right up the A gap, the guard center gap, not getting stuck anymore, getting to the quarterback and finishing it like he always does. That's a scary thought. Luke Kuechly getting even better.
On cue, he gets to the quarterback that time, and this Carolina defense is amped up. Dustin Colquitt will punt it away. Here's Philly Brown at the 49. Fair catch, so the Panthers will have good field position. They've got the 7-6 lead here in the second quarter from Charlotte. So the Panthers with a 7-6 lead over the Chiefs. Eric Bieniemy, who is the running backs coach, talking to the horde of Chief running backs. Of course, the best player, Jamal Charles, not here. He did not make the trip. If you're just tuning in, he's got a bruised foot. Don't expect it to be major. And it's a Panthers ball. Newton still in the game. Fires a seam to Benjamin. First down. Does anybody throw it harder than Cam Newton?
That is beautiful. And that's the timing they're looking for. You only get this from live in-game experience. Kelvin Benjamin does a great job getting off the bump and run, eludes Sean Smith, and there's the strike from Cam Newton. These guys can't have enough reps together, and that is music to Ron Rivera's. Seeing that all, the execution start to come to fruition on the field. It's important for this to happen for these guys.
It's a 24-yard gain. And what did Newton tell us yesterday about Benjamin? He was singing his praises. I mean, he loves him. You get a timeout on the field.
Timeout, Carolina. They're second.
Panthers call a timeout. We'll get to that thought when we come back about Benjamin. Cam calls timeout. 7-6 Panthers. We're back in a minute. I'd say it's a pretty good season for Cam Newton, who is looking like he's getting in a groove. I would like to have a throw-off with he and Nolan Ryan back in his day and see who throws it harder. It's unbelievable. That's Brackle in motion on a first down. He's got time near side, a low throw, incomplete.
And Kevin, you talk about the heat. I mean, look at this, standing tall in the pocket. And this thing is just zipped. Kelvin Benjamin, I'm sure, taking some time getting used to the speed, the zip that ball comes in. And you talk about a blessed individual, Cam Newton, his ability to throw the football, run the football. We've got a special football player who's going to be around for a long time.
On second down, Jonathan Stewart is the back. Looked right, now looking left. Didn't see anything. Pump fakes and finally goes down. How about the persistence by Joe Mays, who gets the sack on the second try?
Persistence is a great word because he took about three shots, but try, and you shall succeed. Joe Mays, strike one, but keep playing, get up. Cam Newton looking down the field. Joe Mays comes in and finishes him off. Good hustle and persistence by Joe Mays.
Joe Mays, new to the Chiefs, brought over after 3 years in Denver. Andy Reid had him in Philadelphia back in the day. And so now it's a third down and long. That play lost 6. Brenton Burson is in the game. Cool for him because he's a Charlotte native, number 2. Bottom of your screen there. Newton. Over the middle. He's got Jason Avant for a catch. And Avant is down to the 6. We have a penalty from the secondary, too.
While the quarterback was in the pocket, illegal contact. Defense, number 21. That penalty decline. The result of the play is the first down.
Well, one of the reasons there's illegal contact is look at this protection. This is a new offensive line, a lot of new faces, but Cam Newton all the time in the world. There's Jason Avant working downfield against Sean Smith. There's the illegal contact. One thing Jason Avant does bring, maybe not a speed burner, but experience. 9 years in the league, a crafty veteran, knows how to get open and utilizes it right there.
And a 25-yard gain and a first and goal at the 7 with Jonathan Stewart in the eye. It's Stewart. And he cuts inside the 5 and dives forward. We talked about this Carolina offensive line. They lost the left side. We showed you Jordan Gross earlier, and Travell Wharton is the other guy too who retired, the left guard, but they are very high on Byron Bell, who started a little bit at right tackle late last year.
And they move him over to the all-important left side, and he's been having a really good camp. They thought they were going to have a competition, and he just took over that job. And Ron Rivera said it was just clear we needed to make him the starter. Extremely athletic, consistency. We talked to Mike Shula, the offensive coordinator, is what they want from him.
It's Stewart who walks in for the touchdown. Second score of the day for Jonathan Stewart. And it's 13-6.
Kansas City moving the ball early, not finishing drives, and now they're paying because Carolina's kind of solidified. They've started to find their rhythm, and they're finishing drives.
That is one thing that Cam Newton is awesome about. He does that every time, finds a kid in the first row. Very cool. And now Gano on for the extra point, aka the 33-yard field goal. Norton in the hole and snuck it on in there. Not always this easy, John. Stewart walks on it, his second touchdown of the game, and it's 14-6 Panthers on the Chiefs.
Well, new offensive line in Carolina, a lot of new faces, but watch this execution. Silatolu, the left guard, up to the second level. Big crease. Jonathan Stewart finds it and walks in the end zone. Outstanding execution by the Carolina Panthers.
And that is probably the last play for Cam Newton. 19 plays now. He's right in between that range, but after 3 and-outs, you've got 2 touchdowns. So this Carolina offense picked it up there, and Ron Rivera's got to feel great about how Cam comes out of the game, leading 2 touchdown drives. Here's Gunnell. Frankie Hammond will take it out. And Hammond up, cut short of the 20-yard line. Let's go down the sidelines. Hello, Pam Oliver.
Hey there, Kevin. A very active night for Cam Newton. I'll tell you what, the medical staff did not leave his side. They watched his every move, every time he came off the field. I saw Ron Rivera go over to one member of the medical staff after Cam came off the field after that touchdown. He maybe indicated that enough is enough, but Cam's really animated. He's very involved, and as you can see, he's pretty happy. Back to you, Kev.
That's a great shot. Good stuff, Pam, because it's interesting, John. You look at last week when he didn't play, and maybe that told you something about Cam even more than tonight did, you know?
I tell you, I knew the ankle was all right when I saw his celebration when Derek Anderson threw that ball to Kelvin Benjamin. He was on the field, chest bumping.
He was really being a heck of a cheerleader as Thomas with the shifty moves. And he's got some fast legs. DeAnthony Thomas, the rookie from Oregon. But, you know, what did Cam tell us yesterday? He said, I'm a guy that's yearning to be great. And really the next step was him being a leader and taking over this team. And it certainly seems like he's heading that way.
You're right, Kevin. You sitting with him, I see a guy who really has matured. He understands his position as the quarterback. You're the leader of a franchise. You can't have down days. And if you do, you got to fake it. And I think he's learned that he is that guy. I think he's grown up a tremendous amount, and it's going to reveal itself on the field.
Smith is going to come near side for Avery and well short. Alex Smith has had a lot of pressure the last few series. That time Hardy was close. We've talked about this Carolina offensive line, but Eric Fisher is the new left tackle for Kansas City. He struggled a bit last year and had some injuries, and there's a big spotlight on him right now.
Yeah. He played right tackle last year. I think he's more suited. Typically thought of as the tougher position, the left side, but that's the natural position for him. He's going against a heck of a player in Greg Hardy right here.
It's Niall Davis on second down. He goes nowhere. He bounces around. He does end up getting a couple. Nice job by Davis after Kuechly hit him initially. Going to pick up 2.
Well, and Greg Hardy, fantastic football player, but he's taking Eric Fisher to school right now. Going to hit him with a little swim move, a little stutter. Luke Kuechly, something you rarely see, a missed tackle, but great hustle by Charles Johnson. But Eric Fisher needs to play well for this Kansas City. They invested a lot in him. The #1 pick in the draft. He's got to pay dividends for him.
Third and 8. This time Smith has time over the middle. What a grab by Fasano and a flag. What concentration by Anthony Fasano. Let's see what the penalty is. Might be coming back.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both against the defense.
Nope.
At least use some hands. Defense, number 97, hands to the face. That penalty decline. Pass interference, defense. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a first down.
Well, that hands to the face is another emphasis that they're really looking at. And as you saw, Addison got the hand up there in Fisher's helmet, and they're going to call that this year.
But you see those left tackles, they're out on an island. That's why those guys get paid a lot of money and why you take them first player in the draft, because it's so valuable. That created the time for Alex Smith. He finds Anthony Fasano over the middle of the field. Absolutely critical.
Niall Davis patiently running right to midfield, so he's going to pick up 4 yards. So these Chiefs that made the playoffs last year and had that 38-10 lead over the Colts in the third quarter and lost. Well, here's who else they lost. I mean, Asamoah, Albert, and Schwartz all on the line, and then McCluster, who pretty much replaced by drafting Anthony Thomas. Second down. And it's Donnie Avery. And he did make the catch inbound. Nope. Now they say no catch, so incomplete to Avery. And on that playoff loss, where only the second team, the Colts, were to come back from 28 down at that point in the second half. Remember, the Bills and Frank Reich were the other. That's why all we heard yesterday from Andy Reid and the Chiefs was the word, as you said, finish.
Finish. And it was reflected in the playoff loss. It was also reflected in their season. Remember the 9-0 start? Then they fade away to a 2-5 finish. And the playoff game was no different. Now, Andrew Luck had a little bit to do that, a very special football player. But they've got to finish. And Andy Reid has not let them forget it. A constant reminder, what the players said, has been a...
On third down, it's Bo fighting forward, and he should have enough for a first down. Heck of an effort for Dwayne Bowe, who's played well tonight. Got 5 catches for 62 yards.
You talked about the investment that the Chiefs made in Dwayne Bowe, and it's just imperative that he, both on the field and off the field, steps up, because they've invested in him. He needs to invest back in this team and play big-time football, but also stay on the field, not be suspended, and that hurts a football team like this.
So a big pickup of a first down with 3:03 to go in the first half. 14-6 Panthers. All kinds of time for Smith. Get a flag. This one's probably going to come back, and he throws it away.
Holding. Offense. Number 72. 10-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
Well, here he is on that island. Now he's working against Coney Ely. Get those hands outside the frame of the body, and the officials will call it. You got to continue to move those feet and stay in front. When you start reaching is when those penalties occur. It's just a technique issue. He's got all the skills. He's just got to continue to hone them.
Make it first down to 24, Smith. Pressure up the middle, and down he goes. He had nowhere to go that time. Absolutely nowhere. Star Latulele, who was a star last year after drafted out of Utah with a sack.
You see Latulele, he's going to work right up the middle, and so important to have that pressure from the interior. He beats the left guard, Jeff Allen, right away. And to me, the biggest difference in Carolina's defense last year was that guy right there, because they've had the pressure on the end. They've had Greg Hardy. They've had Charles Johnson. You add some pressure with a force in the middle, and you back him up with Kuechly and Thomas Davis. Now you've got something when you have it inside and outside, and that's what the Carolina Panthers bring to the table now.
Yeah, timeout on the field. It looks like the Chiefs have called it. Well, yeah, Latulele had 3 sacks, 11 pressures last year. Good against the run. It was a tremendous draft pick. And now Andy Reid is, I guess, trying to figure out what's going on while they sort it out on the Chiefs timeout. We'll tell you what critics are raving all about. Audiences everywhere were amazed by it. This fall, see the series that's blowing everyone away. Find out how all the legendary characters began in Gotham. Series premiere Monday, September 22nd on Fox. Kuechly talking to A.J. Klein, who's starting tonight for Chase Blackburn, who's out with a back injury, and penalties are biting the Chiefs.
Hey, they're not alone. It's happening all over the league.
It's true.
You know, I just hope that the players respond. A lot of this is incumbent on players. Sloppy football. You got to play good football, good technique, and you won't get the fouls. But a lot of it is just the league trying to make a point. We want player safety to be of a premium. We want offense, so we're going to call defensive penalties. And the players have to respond, and I think the league has to adjust. We can't have all these penalties going into the regular season.
No doubt. Second down and 29 now after a couple penalties. Near side, Smith tipped, nearly intercepted. Melvin White knocked it away.
Last year, somebody coined this secondary for the Carolina Panthers, the Legion of Whom. But with plays like this by Melvin White, we got the Legion of Boom out in Seattle, and because no one knew who these guys were, the Legion of Whom was coined. But they're starting to announce their presence, and you don't play on a second-ranked defense in this league, keeping people to 15.1 points per game if you don't have a good back end. Now, there's some new faces, but they like their group in the back end.
They're the second best defense in the league, only to Seattle. 3rd and 29. It's a screen to Davis. And Niall Davis got to get out across the 45. Melvin White on the tackle. Chiefs will have to punt, and this Panthers defense, after bending a little bit on the first 2 drives, playing well. 2-minute warning in Charlotte. It's 14-6. Panthers leading the Chiefs. All smiles for Cam after a slow start in his first game back since ankle surgery in March. Well, he's really gotten on a roll, and he's led 2 touchdown drives for Carolina, who will get the ball back because their defense is playing extremely well. Colquitt will punt it away. And it's Philly Brown waiting back. Fair catch right around the 10-yard line. Hey, next Sunday, the NFL preseason continues on Fox. Full day of coverage beginning with fantasy football uncensored, followed by the big catch featuring Randy Moss. Then it's Chargers versus 49ers, live from the brand new Levi Stadium. The action starts at 2 o'clock Eastern, only on Fox.
I got to tune into that. The big catch with Randy Moss. I've seen a lot of big catches, unfortunately, by that man. And he's quite the fisherman, I understand.
He's had a lot of big catches, but not necessarily smallmouth bass before. We'll find out. Cam Newton's day is done, and it was 4 of 9, 65 yards, but he really got into a good groove there. And now it's Derek Anderson in the game. Kenyon Barner, the running back, former Oregon Duck. And he's going to pick up 3. Time ticking down, 1:38 to go in the half. Derek Anderson was a Pro Bowler. You see that year with Cleveland, 2007. He was tremendous, but you can find the magic really after that. But I think he's a good backup to have, I'll tell you that.
Carolina is very fortunate to have him, and they'll tell you as much as what he brings on the field, the mentorship that he's brought to Cam Newton. He's been a great asset to Cam Newton as far as just a sounding board, a guy who can always pick him up. Derek's a very positive guy, a great influence on Cam Newton.
Anderson. And looking for Philly Brown there, and now we get a late flag. Marcus Cooper was on the coverage.
Very unusual.
Pass interference. Defense, number 31. Spot the foul. Automatic. First down.
And this is probably the right call, but it's such a point of emphasis. The side judge called it. There is contact there. The ball is in the air. But no one called it in the back end, and the side judge, these guys now, I think they're so conditioned to calling them that he said, well, someone's got to call it. And he threw the flag out there 5 seconds late.
Numbers on Cam. Now it's Derek Anderson. Panthers have 1 timeout, minute 4 to go in the half. Anderson for Benjamin. Man, nice grab at midfield. And he picks up a first down and a gain of 17.
They call this route the Bang 8. We saw Michael Irvin do it along with Troy Aikman in Dallas. And when you have that kind of size, you can shield the defender with your body. Kelvin Benjamin certainly has that.
Blitz, and Anderson coming near side, and it's caught. I think he's going to be down by contact, but Brenton Burson, who was on the practice squad the last 2 years and grew up in Charlotte. See if he caught it.
Yes, he did. Tremendous concentration by Burson.
Well, they're going to review it. The clock ticked all the way down to 15 seconds left. You know, I tell you one thing, John. I could see why Carolina's excited about Benjamin. I mean, he's got some tools now.
Well, you have to wonder how he got to the 28th pick in the draft. You can see he's very polished. The release at the line of scrimmage, the concentration, again, that big body. I think Cam said at 6'5", 240, he's a bag of chips away from being a tight end, which I loved. But he's got the skills, and you can see why they see him being a number 1. And he can't develop fast enough because they absolutely need him. Steve Smith, for years, the number 1 receiver here. Cam Newton talked about the mentality, and he's trying to instill that into Kelvin Benjamin. That I'll challenge, I'll take on any challenge. Steve Smith had that. I played against him. There's a void there. Someone's got to emerge and take that void for this team to get where they want to get, and they believe that it can be this young man.
He is an enormous human being. 6'5", 240 listed, maybe bigger than that. He caught the game-winning touchdown for Florida State in the national championship game, and 15 touchdowns for the Seminoles last year, which was third in the nation. But there were worries about him dropping the ball. And
after reviewing the play, it is a completed catch, down by contact. First down, Carolina.
Bottom line is, so far, he's impressed everybody in Carolina camp, and I could see why tonight.
Absolutely.
And so there's 15 seconds left on the clock. I felt like time ran off that clock. I'm not sure if they're going to put any more time back, but we'll see. Panthers have one timeout left. Well, they're talking it over. I believe there should be more time on the clock here.
20 seconds on the clock when the play was stopped for the review.
So 20 seconds. They get an extra 5 seconds. Hey, by the way, Brenton Burson, who just made that catch, told you he was on the practice squad, number 2 for Carolina. He's in there now in this bunch formation. He went to Wofford. So did Panthers owner Jerry Richardson. He's tied Richardson for 9 touchdowns this season for the school record. How about that?
Cool. That is cool.
No wonder why Mr. Richardson had to bring him in. I mean, come on. That's his school record. Clock running, first down. Anderson is dropped. Chris Owens came on the corner blitz. Now Panthers call their final timeout with 11 seconds to go in the half.
You watch Chris Owens. He's going to come from the corner here. Going to beat Kenyon Barner and finish it. And that's what Bob Sutton, they're coming from everywhere. You're an opposing quarterback. Tough team to play in the preseason because Bob Sutton will bring them from the stands. He doesn't care. He's bringing people. He's bringing extra people. And they've got 2 great rushmen up front with Justin Houston and Tamba Hali. But that doesn't keep him from blitzing. He's going to blitz, blitz, and blitz.
Well, that's what he's going to do in the regular season, so might as well work on it in the preseason.
Puts a lot of pressure on those folks in the back end, the defensive backs, not to give up the big plays. And you see them going, protecting the sidelines on both ends. Don't want to let them out of bounds. The middle of the field wide open.
11 seconds to go in the half. It's a 2nd and 15. 3-man rush. Anderson looking for Benjamin. Caught it, but he's way out of bounds. And so 5 seconds to go. And I think they're going to, well, we get a penalty now. Boy, a late shove out of bounds. Is that what they're going to get? If that's the case, it just put the Panthers in field goal range.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense, number 13, with unnecessary contact with the defender. 15-yard penalty. The down counts. 3rd down.
All right, enough said. You saw it. Kelvin Benjamin with a rookie mistake, and that's one thing Mike Shula said we've got to expect. He's done so many great things, but he's young. He's going to make mistakes. He'll learn from that, hopefully. You got to control those emotions.
You know, I was hoping they would bring out Graham Gano here for an 80-yarder because, believe it or not, in practice the other day, at the end of practice, he hit a 70-yarder. 70! He hit a 65-yarder today in practice, and it was good by a mile. So here's the last play of the half. They're going to swing it to Kenyon Barner, and he will gracefully take us to the break in Charlotte, where the Panthers have a 14-6 lead over the Chiefs in preseason week number 2. And Cam Newton, his first action since ankle surgery, has to feel good about how he ended it. A nice debut here. Happy about that. Why not? Hand it over to the fans. 14-6 Panthers at the break. So at the half, we're almost set for the third quarter. 14-6 Panthers over the Chiefs. Oh, hi. How you doing? John Lynch, nine-time Pro Bowler. I'm Kevin Burkhardt. So Cam Newton comes back from the ankle surgery. What struck you from that first half?
Well, I think that it was, as we said before the game, how important it was to get these reps. Early on, it wasn't pretty. He got into sync with these receivers, Kelvin Benjamin namely, and the rhythm started to flow for that Carolina offense.
Cam's day is done, and we saw starters for the most part for the first half from both of these teams, and now Alex Smith's day looks to be done as well. Smith, 14 of 22, 127 yards, and now it's Chase Daniel.
I thought Alex Smith looked really, really good. I think the thing Alex Smith's going to talk about, and I can promise you the narrative in their meeting tomorrow, guys, we got to finish. We've been talking about it all training camp. It showed itself in this preseason game. But a lot of good things happened for Alex Smith in this Kansas City Chiefs offense.
Yeah, they had two really good drives that started off that settled for field goals. And so now it's Daniel, the former Missouri star. And it's going to be a handoff to Cyrus Gray. Cyrus Gray has a nice pickup as he's got a first down for Kansas City. 11 yards on the play. So the second teamer's in now, John.
One thing that's clear, they're going to use this guy, DeAnthony Thomas, and we see it so much. You see him come around on the ghost, the fake reverse. But when you have a special talent that people know have world-class speed, you not only utilize him in your game plan, you utilize him as a decoy. And Andy Reid believes in this guy. He's going to be a big part of this offense.
Here's Cyrus Gray. And he fights his way to the 35 for a gain of 3. Luke Kuechly and this Carolina defense, they were getting after it. Kuechly told us, working on that D, working on the pass rushing skills, and then moments later, John, you called it, he gets a sack.
And that's what great players do. You think about Michael Jordan. That was something he did every offseason in basketball. Pick something, his post game, something he was going to get better at. Luke Kuechly taking a page out of Michael Jordan's book.
While Gray is going to be just shy of a first down. And that shot, by the way, was Greg Olsen to the right of Kuechly. He is Panthers starting tight end. There's Greg. Held out with a calf injury today. He was testing it early, but probably wise to keep him out. And he's one of the kind of underrated, unheralded players in the league, but he's a terrific tight end.
Yeah, we talked about all the receivers that left Carolina this year. Well, their leading receiver was that guy with 73 catches at the tight end position. And they're expecting huge things. They need him to produce big, along with Ed Dixon at the tight end position this year.
Here's Gray again on a third down and short. And it's going to be close. May have a measurement. Interesting development just before the half. I mean, we saw the personal foul penalty on Kelvin Benjamin. This is the next play, the last play of the half.
Well, you see Kelvin Benjamin. He's getting feisty with Chris Owens there. But teaching moment for the head coach, Ron Rivera. He's going to come find his young receiver, and he's going to walk him not only down the sidelines, he's going to walk him all the way into the locker room. And we got a great receiver who just showed up. Straight bass, homie.
Randy Moss just walked into the booth. We'll hear from him. Travis Kelce on the catch. Your mic working, Randy? Let's see.
Mic check. I'm here.
It's good. It's good. So I know you've made a lot of great catches in your career. I didn't think bass would necessarily be one of them, man. How did that all go, that fishing trip?
Well, growing up in the country hills of West Virginia, there's not a lot to do. So I grew up fishing on the banks, and when I got drafted to the Minnesota Vikings, 10,000 Lakes, I had to get out there. I had to get out there. So it was definitely an experience for me, and I fell in love with it since then. So I had to bring it to the guys at Fox.
Hey, Randy, I'm interested. Kelvin Benjamin, Steve Smith's gone. All the receivers are gone. They need new receivers to emerge. What do you think of Kelvin Benjamin in that first half for Carolina?
Well, the one thing that I looked at with him and when Cam was out there, it's obvious to me that they haven't had the timing this summer because of Cam's ankle injury. But I see some good things like the last drive where Cam, threw him the ball, and then when the backup quarterback came in there and threw him that skinny close, nice catch right here, make something happen. There you go. But the thing that I like about Benjamin is he's big, and I said this earlier this morning with the Fox production crew. He reminds me of when Calvin Johnson came out as far as being that physical specimen. I'm not putting him in that category yet, but he does remind me as far as his physicality of a Calvin Johnson. So we'll see what happens, come week 1.
Well, we were talking about Benjamin. If you just tuned in, we showed it at the end of the half there. It got a little aggressive and goes to the locker room there. Ron Rivera talking to him. But, it's interesting. Benjamin comes in not only as a heralded rookie, but a #1 guy for a team that lost every one of their wide receivers. So, look, you came into the league and burst onto the scene.
Yeah.
What is that like, though, as a rookie, the pressure that you feel to come in and produce right away?
Well, on the professional level, I don't think as a young wide receiver he understands or knows the expectation level for him being a #1 pick. And I think the standards that Steve Smith set here in Carolina, I don't think the young generation understands what he did here. So for them to really look at his film and look at the things that he accomplished here, the Pro Bowls, they went to the Super Bowl, things like that. I think that the young class with Benjamin, they need to Cotry, those guys need to really take a page out of his book and really look what he does on the field.
Chase Daniel is leading a nice little drive here. Cyrus Gray is the back. It's Frankie Hammond in motion. He made that nice catch moments ago.
Find your back.
A little low when he bounced it to Cyrus Gray. He was trying, Randy.
Hey, you look open from here.
You're talking about pressure for rookies. I played against Randy Moss as a member of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in his first game, and it was early in the first quarter. Brad Johnson rolls to the right, throws back to the left, and here goes this guy flying by me. I said, I've never seen speed like this, and he caught that touchdown, caught 2 in that game, introduced himself to the National Football League, and what a tremendous career, my man. It's a treat. It was a treat to play against you, and it's even more fun to have you on my team now.
See if they can get in the Chiefs. Here's Thomas. Oh, boy. D'Anthony Thomas looking like John Lynch on the hit with Melvin White.
These Carolina corners will hit you now. They've been impressive tackling. D'Anthony Thomas on the little bubble screen against a great athlete like that. Don't give him the room to make a move in space. Melvin White comes aggressively, takes out his legs. What you think about that, Randy?
Well, the one thing that really stood out to me was the blocking by the wide receiver that got the man blown up. I know about blocking downfield, and I've had my shares of them. So maybe a better block by the wide receiver. Thomas would have had a chance to make something happen.
Here's Suckup from 25 yards out, and it is good. So Chase Daniel leads the drive. Chiefs get a field goal, get a little closer. We're hanging with Randy Moss. Stay with us, will you? 14-9, Carolina. We're back in Charlotte. A little preseason football on Fox tonight. 14-9 Panthers. As Ryan Suckup will boot it away to Philly Brown. Keep wanting to call him downtown every time I say his name, but
go ahead, do it.
Downtown Philly. Waiting back on this one as Suckup gets a knuckler and Brown takes it to 2. And he's across the 20. Still fighting. He didn't go out of bounds. Philly Brown taking it uptown to the 30. Well, John, you talked about that first meeting with Randy Moss. Just so happens that we may have some footage.
Oh no!
I mean, what happened here, John Lynch? Here's Randy against Dallas, which you.
I'm gonna tell you that first play right there. John Lynch came late and hit me, but one thing that I can hang my hat on, I caught that ball with one hand and held on for the touchdown. So
really,
not many guys can say that because John Lynch put fear in a lot of wide receivers. Look at that one hand. Got you, John. Got you, John.
I got to get that ball out.
John, you were loading up there too, man. You were loading up.
I never got a good hit on Randy Moss. He never let you. He was moving too fast.
So Derek Anderson's still in the game for Carolina as he finished up the first half, and then he's going to connect to Brandon Williams here. So Randy, what's your thoughts on the league this year? I mean, Seattle, obviously the Super Bowl champs. I mean, are they still the team to beat in your eyes? What are your thoughts there?
Well, I said this coming out of the half that, I'm a big New England Patriot fan, and, I hold them dearly to my heart, and, I still love the Vikings also, but I think that with New England going to the AFC Championship last year without Wilfork, without Mayo, without any quarterbacks back there, now that they got those guys at quarterback and those other guys healthy, I think they're the Super Bowl favorite.
2-point favorite in New England.
Interesting.
I like it.
Well, they got Darrelle Revis to lock up some wide receivers up there. That's going to be an interesting combination as Barner had the carry.
Randy, speaking of wide receivers, you're a Hall of Fame receiver. Who are the guys that you enjoy watching in today's football?
Well, I still enjoy the old school guys. I still enjoy Larry Fitzgerald, Andre Johnson. You know, one guy that I fell in love with over the last couple of years is Dez Bryant. You know, he really plays the game the way it should be played. And I like him. I like watching Calvin. You know, I just like looking at the whole group of wide receivers. But I think Dez Bryant stands out to me along with Calvin.
Anderson throws one a little behind the intended receiver. Well, Randy, it's good stuff, but we're going to take a break because Pam Oliver down on the sidelines with Chiefs quarterback Alex Smith.
Well, Alex, I know you weren't happy last week with the preseason effort. A little bit better tonight. Andy Reid told me that he was happier with the young offensive line. You guys seem to be gelling a little bit better.
You know, a little better as an offense this time around. You know, move the ball. First couple drives got some points. You know, no turnovers, but still hurt ourselves with some penalties and sacks. So, you know, still some things to clean up. It was an improvement. It was a step, but it'll be nice to look at this film and make improvements.
Last thing I have, what would a nice contract represent to you as a player and someone who's dedicated himself to this? Go on, give me some.
You know, I got nothing. That's why I got an agent. They can do that. You know, I certainly want something that's fair. I've played a long time in this league, and I want something that both sides are happy with and that I'm going to play out. Sometimes it takes time, so.
Congrats.
Thanks, Pam.
Get it. Okay, back to you guys.
Alex, Pam, Alex looking for straight cash. We're back with Randy Moss and John Lynch in a
Give
moment.
it to him.
14-9 Carolina over the Chiefs, but Kansas City with good field position because they got a partial punt block by A.J. Jenkins. So they're going to take over in a good spot here. And Aaron Murray, the former Georgia star, the rookie in at quarterback. So just one series for Chase Daniel. Now we'll get a long look, presumably at Murray. And he throws one. He's got Kelsey wide open. And he's in for the touchdown. How about that? One pass and 6.
Well, Randy, we all know what a tight end with that kind of speed down the middle. We saw Kelsey last week with a 69-yard TD. We talked about in the open, that kind of speed down the middle of the field. What's that do for an offense?
Well, if you look at that last play, that wide receiver that went in motion had to go out wide, and that's what freed it up for that tight end going down the middle of the seam. So that was a good play. It was a great read, great throw.
What an introduction to the NFL for Aaron Murray, making this look easy. But when the middle of the field's that wide open and you got a guy with that much speed as Kelsey, this is a guy to watch out for. Fantasy football teams are going to be signing this guy up because he can get it.
He missed all of last season with a knee injury, and you see the flat-out speed. And the Chiefs get on the board and take the lead. Murray's going to follow on the play. Hey, wait a second. I got a touchdown. Kansas City back in front over Carolina. 16-14 here in the third.
This game on Fox is sponsored by Verizon. Get more with our best deals on the best network.
Well, how about Aaron Murray? A rookie from Georgia comes in and he throws a pass, and that pass is a 43-yard touchdown to Travis Kelsey.
Easy game. But that young man, we haven't seen much of him, but he is a talent. Watch out for Travis Kelsey in Kansas City.
Philly Brown's going to take it out from deep in the end zone and making something happen. Good speed from Philly Brown as he gets across the 25 to about the 28. Carolina football, we come back, but the Chiefs have jumped out in front at 16-14 Kansas City here in the third. We're back in the third quarter from Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte. 16-14 Chiefs. Panthers football. Kelvin Benjamin had that talking to at halftime, but had a couple big plays. You see the running backs today for the Chiefs with Eric Bieniemy. Jamal Charles did make the trip. If you just tuned in, he's got a bruised foot, so he's back in Kansas City, probably eating some good barbecue ribs right now and watching us. Kuechly and Davis in this Carolina defense played well when they were in there. Josh Norman hanging out with the hat on too. So it's Carolina football. The 1st and 10, Derek Anderson in the game. And Fozzie Whitaker, free agent. That's his first carry of tonight. He's going to pick up about 7 yards. New this season, stream live local Sunday afternoon games right on your smartphone with NFL Mobile. That's cool. I couldn't do that before. So if you're not at the game watching us, put it out on your phone. Now we get to see some of the guys who are trying to make an impact here with these Panthers after the first teamers are out. Here's Whitaker. Fozzie Whitaker is close to a first down, maybe a hair short depending on where they mark it. Thank Randy Moss for coming up to the booth, spending some time with him. Boy, our video guys got you. They had to throw in a highlight with you in it. All the highlights he had against everybody else.
We talk about the Fox family. Every time I'm coming on here, it's Barry Sanders making me look foolish or Randy Moss running by me.
I mean, can we get a John Lynch positive play?
That's all right.
Greg Olsen is trying to work the chain guy, saying, come on, guys. That's move that chain back. Well, that's a first down. Come on. That is a first down officially. Greg's a Jersey guy. He's got that, that thing going. He's trying to convince him a little here. So Anderson on the sneak, and the Panthers move the chains.
This is really fun here, Kevin, to me, because I've been here. I've been these guys playing, and you're literally playing for your football life. I mean, you want to make a roster, go make something happen in these games, and you're going to see great efforts. You've seen a guy like Fozzie Whitaker run as hard as he possibly can because he knows this is his opportunity.
It's Richie Brockel in motion, 3rd string tight end. Anderson has a lot of time, and he's coming near side. He's got another tight end, Brandon Williams. And Brandon Williams fights his way down all the way to the 27. It's a gain of 32 to the second-year man from Oregon.
Well, and this is a guy that they really like, Brandon Williams, and he's going to be working against D. Ford, the first-round draft pick out of Auburn. But Brandon Williams, Mike Shula said he can't have enough plays. He needs to play, but they really like him. He runs extremely well. He played 59 plays last week because he needs the reps, but they think he has some skills that he can bring to the table for the Carolina Panthers.
It's a 1st and 10 at the 28. They mark it. It's Whitaker. And Fozzie Whitaker in the end and shoved out of bounds inside the 15 down around the 13-yard line. So Fozzie Whitaker showing a little burst. You showed Brandon Williams, John. Take a look at the replay.
Just look at the pretty pictures. Get a little alley, and a guy like that running hard with some burst. Positive yards for Fozzie Whitaker and the Carolina Panthers.
Talking about Williams who made the last catch, though. He played 1 year of college ball at Oregon, believe it or not, and then didn't play in 2011 because he had spinal stenosis. There's more. I'll tell you after this. Why not give it to Whitaker again? And Whitaker's going to pick up a couple. Anyway, the other story on Williams, then he switched and went and played hoops at Portland Bible College. And he was invited to a regional scouting combine in Dallas. I mean, that is the last chance saloon for some regional scout to look at you. Bottom line is he got looked at, and the Panthers hope that this former basketball star can help them. So he's overcome that. He's overcome injury, and here he is.
Probably a smart man. He looking at tight ends, Julius Thomas, Jimmy Graham, Antonio Gates. Go play basketball if you want to play tight end in the NFL.
It really is incredible. I mean, half these guys barely have any college football experience anymore, the tight ends. You find them as a power forward.
False start. Offense, number 78. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
That's on Nate Chandler, who's the starting right tackle for the Panthers, still in the game.
Quite a story there, too. A former defensive lineman from UCLA. Mike Shula was talking about him. He said, can you believe it? This time last year was a defensive lineman. Last year in the playoffs, he's playing right guard against the San Francisco 49ers. Now he's out at right tackle. He's made a very nice conversion over to the offensive side of the football. Going to be a key part of that offensive line for the Panthers.
Anderson going end zone. Touchdown. He's got Brenton Burson. Burson's had a game. A couple big catches. Born and raised here in Charlotte.
You watch Burson out of the bunch. Going to run a little double move, and then Derek Anderson puts it on that back shoulder. Tremendous concentration by Burson. You catch touchdowns like that, and you went to the owner's college, broke his record, you got a good chance of making this squad.
Hey, why not? Been on the practice squad for 2 years. You got to look at this core and say, wait a second, there's some jobs available, and Burson had himself nice nights. And so a 16-yard touchdown. And now Gano for the extra point. Up and through. Panthers back in front. 16-yard score. Anderson to Burson. And it's 21-16 Carolina over Kansas City. The little woo!
It was cold.
That was cold. You know, the one thing is about this Ice Bucket Challenge, it's helped raise a tremendous amount of money for ALS research. Near and dear to your heart, that cause. I know that.
It is, very much so. I lost my mother-in-law this past May to ALS, and it's a terrible, terrible disease. And as we watch the kickoff here.
A big return, man. And we get a flag. It was Frankie Hammond on the return, probably coming back.
Big return, but it's a insidious disease, and the awareness that has happened because of this challenge is wonderful. People are talking about it. People need to know about it.
Receiving.
But in addition to that awareness, people have to donate money. I'm proud to work for a company in Fox Sports that's going to make a nice donation tonight. The Lynch family is going to do so, and I challenge everybody out there not only to take the challenge but to give to this, because it's a terrible disease that really takes from people far too early, and it's a wonderful thing that's going on right now.
How about this? Through the Ice Bucket Challenge, ALS has received 259,505 new donors. As of today, John, ALS raising $13.3 million since the challenge began, end of July, compared to $1.7 million in that time frame last year. You make donations at als.net or augiesquest.org, and that's just tremendous. It's been an internet sensation that's turned out to be a terrific thing as it's carried by Gray. So you challenged Ron Rivera, and he took the challenge.
He's a good man.
Panthers. I want to thank John Lynch for allowing me to do the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. I also want to challenge Leslie Frazier of Tampa Bay, John Harbaugh of Baltimore, Steve Spagnuolo of Baltimore, and Juan Castillo to the Ice Bucket Challenge. Go ahead.
Ron's daughter on the left helped dump the bucket.
And Coach Rivera had lost a good friend, a former teammate of his, and Richard Rogers, who helped dump the ice bucket on him. Paul Nigerian, who he played with at Cal a month ago.
It's Kelsey again. Nice moves by Travis Kelsey, who's got a first down. I think it's pretty amazing. Essentially, it's raised $12 million more than last year at this time from this social media thing that's gone to a great cause. So go out and donate if you haven't done it already. You know, John's obviously done it, so have I. And good stuff, John.
Please do. Thanks, Ken. Thank you.
So here's Kelsey, and you know, we saw the play last week, the 69-yard play where he literally ran away from the secondary. We saw him right down the seam earlier when Aaron Murray hit him with a touchdown pass. And this guy is going to be a major factor for Kansas City this year. Drafted him last year, got hurt, out all season with a knee. Number 87 as Murray this time is picked off by A.J. Klein. The second-year man from Iowa is A.J. Klein, taken in the 5th round last year.
Aaron Murray had the instant success, but this is the NFL. And if you're off just a little bit, guys like A.J. Klein are going to make you pay. A.J. Klein undercuts the tight end across the middle and finishes the play. Cyrus Gray with nice effort to keep him out of the end zone. Really good play by A.J. Klein, a player that they really like, and frankly, battling with Chase Blackburn, who's out tonight for that 3rd linebacker spot.
He almost had an interception return for a touchdown there. Would you believe he had 4 of them at Iowa, which, as a linebacker, 4 interception return touchdowns ties an NCAA record. So he's done that before.
Iowa State A.J. Klein, but he's a guy that Luke Kuechly talked about, all the influence that Thomas Davis and those guys have had on him. Luke Kuechly's really taken him under his wing.
We got Joe Webb in at quarterback now, so the third quarterback for Carolina. Webb was great last week, doing a little flip play. Marvin McNutt, and he's not going to get much, maybe a yard. So the third quarterback of the day for Carolina. Webb was terrific last week in preseason week number 1.
He really played well. This is a guy that, if you followed the league, had some opportunities up in Minnesota. They ultimately tried him out at wide receiver. The Panthers brought him in here, and the way he played last week, it's going to be tough for them not to keep him on the roster. They really like him. They know he has some versatility, could possibly go out and play receiver if they needed him, but was really stellar at quarterback last week.
It's Kenyon Barner, and Barner gets to the 5. It'll bring up a 3rd and goal. They give him 2. Barner's a guy that's trying to make some noise too. You know, he drafted in the 5th round last year out of Oregon and got an explosive career for the Ducks. I mean, 2nd in Oregon history in all-purpose yards, but only had 7 yards last year, and so far in the preseason hasn't gotten a chance to get it going.
And he's coming to a backfield that's loaded. D'Angelo Williams, Jonathan Stewart, Mike Tolbert.
Third and goal. Webb being blitzed and lost it just out of the hands, and we get a flag. He was looking for Brandon Williams. We get a penalty. Let's see what it is. So talking over the play to Williams, who's
holding defense number 23. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
It's on Phillip Gaines, the rookie out of Rice.
I believe they misidentified the number there. It's Jerron McMillan, number 34, who they get for that hold, holding on to that right arm of Brandon Williams.
That's a huge call. It's an automatic first down. It's Whitaker, who is just shy. It'll be a 2nd and goal, as the Panthers trying to add their lead here. Final 40 seconds of the 3rd quarter at Bank of America Stadium. A good crowd tonight. Preseason game. And the return of Cam Newton back from ankle surgery. Looked good after a rusty beginning. Led a couple touchdown drives. Whitaker in for 6. Touchdown Panthers.
See Cam Newton celebrating once again. Very much become the emotional leader of this Carolina Panthers team, but impressive effort by the Carolina Panthers. Early on, it looked like you see Cam with Joe Webb having fun. It looked like Kansas City had control of this game early. Carolina hung in there and have really started to control the line of scrimmage. That's where you win football games, and they're winning that battle up front.
Well, they scored off the A.J. Klein interception with put it all in motion. Picked it off of Aaron Murray. As that one up and good. Next Sunday on Fox, it's The Big Catch featuring Randy Moss. Watch as Randy and friends discuss the 2014 football season. Right now, let's take a look at an exclusive clip.
Would you rather catch 10 touchdowns or catch 10 fish?
10 fish.
Yes, sir!
All right, we'll see you at breakfast, girls.
Straight bands, homie!
That is unbelievable. That's going to be fun. Talking football on boats, fishing with Randy and Urlacher. Peter Schrager, our buddy out in there. I know he's watching right now back in New York.
Joel Klatt.
Joel's over there. Joel's never fished, right?
Neither had
First
Peter
time?
Schrager. Talked to those guys at our seminar. They had more fun hanging with Randy and Brian and actually caught some fish.
The Carolina's put 4 touchdowns on the board. That guy, A.J. Klein, set it up with the interception off of Aaron Murray. Cam is now playing the mayor of Charlotte. Ricky Hammond back to receive. He's had a couple nice plays. Nice return that was called back for a penalty before. Had a big catch and run earlier. That's the loudest doink I've ever heard on the air. How about that? And so Kansas City will take over on their own 20. John, Chiefs are trying to get a long look at Aaron Murray here. I mean, Alex Smith's the quarterback. We know that. Chase Daniel is clearly the number 2, and it seems like they're going to keep a third quarterback. It's between Murray and Tyler Bray, who's not playing, and the difference is Bray has got a rocket arm. He's a big guy. Murray is more of the savvier quarterback. He's won in college in big games, obviously, so it's we're trying to weigh it out here.
Well, you can't argue with the success he had. A guy who, the first guy in history in the SEC to throw for 4 consecutive 3,000 seasons.
This is Ray with the run, and a nice run by Cyrus Gray that should take us to the end of quarter number 3. And we'll get another look at Aaron Murray trying to make this Chiefs team. But it's been, for the most part, Panthers tonight. The D, 4 touchdowns on the board. And it's 28-16 Carolina through 3. Start the 4th quarter in Charlotte, where the Panthers have a 28-16 lead over the Chiefs. Along with John Lynch, I'm Kevin Burkhardt. Glad to have you along for week 2 of the preseason. And, of course, football back on Fox. Third member of our crew is Pam Oliver. I'm so glad to have her along with us. We'll get down to her in just a moment. Also the great direction of Artie Kempner and producing for Pete Macheska. Couldn't do without those guys. Here's Cyrus Gray, who's going to get a short carry. This is right out of Dr. Seuss, but let's go down to Pam and Cam.
Pam and Cam. Well, you weren't all smiles in the beginning, but that famous grin came out a little bit later. How did you feel, and what did you feel like you accomplished?
Well, it was just something that we had to get on track. As an offense, we never planned on, starting like this. But, like our coaches always say, handle the what-if moments. We didn't have a first down for, I think, 3 series, and it was kind of frustrating. But the offense as a whole did a great job of getting on point. Big run by Stu to get us going, and we just got to keep chipping along and keep getting better each and every day.
How do you keep the negative out? There's so much doom and gloom, and the sky is falling. How do you keep that separate? Because you've got a job to do, as does everybody on this team.
Right. Well, we had an unbelievable meeting this morning, and the main gist of it as an offense was holding ourselves accountable. As a quarterback, I have jobs and the things that I'm expected to do each and every down, but it's not blocking, it's not catching, it's not running with the football. As a quarterback, I know what's under my job description, and I got to do it. It's the offensive line to do what offensive linemen do. It's the running back's job to do what running backs do, and receivers, and et cetera. And I have to do what I'm supposed to do and do it to the best of my ability.
We know about your leadership and how you picked that up. How are you in the patience department? Because it seems like you're going to need a lot of it.
Right. Well, I wouldn't say that. It's extremely frustrating when the bar is set so high for self-motivation, so to speak. And everyone knows that I'm my biggest critic. I know what I'm capable of. I know what this offense is capable of. And when it's not getting done, that's when, I get frustrated. But just like today, coaches always say, Coach Shula always says, like water on the duck's back. You got to keep playing, and something's bound to happen. If we execute, the sky's the limit for us.
We were supposed to talk to you a long time ago, but I understand there was a cold tub and the treatment. So how is that ankle after the play you got tonight?
Oh, the ankle is doing good. It's I'm trying to be optimistic through it all. It had a couple scares with feeling it, but it's always good to get live action with it. And this is probably the first time I've actually ran on it. In practice, coaches always, no, quick whistle. But it was good for me to get this type of work. But it's always better to have that chip on the shoulder that I want to come out and do better, and that's what we're going to have to do.
All right, appreciate your time. Thanks, Cam.
All right now.
Back to you.
Well, thanks, Pam. That was great. I mean, he's in a good place right now. He really is. He's already a superstar, but it feels like he's taking it to the next level. And if that really was the first time he ran around, I mean, he didn't tuck it under his arm, John, and run it all, but he looked fine out there.
You know, and there's always that unknown when you're coming back from an injury. Practice is one thing, but live action, when you have to react to people chasing you and big men chasing you, it's something different. And I think Cam's relieved, as you can see with the smile, that he passed that test. Now he can go to doing all those things we talked about, which he got done tonight, getting that timing in tune. You think about the work that quarterbacks put in receivers. It takes years sometimes to develop that chemistry. He's trying to accelerate that process as much as possible.
Here's Murray on a first down and thought about running, but that gap closed real quick. Back to the line of scrimmage there.
We were talking about Aaron Murray earlier, and Doug Peterson, the offensive coordinator, was talking down on the field. He says, look, not the strongest arm in the world, an average NFL arm, but when the lights come on, the guy's got a good feel, and he's got that quality where he shines when the lights are on.
Casey Walker, number 74, on one knee for the Panthers while they tend to him. We'll take a break. 11-12 to play. 28-16, Panthers in front.
Tonight's game is sponsored by The Equalizer, in theaters September 26th, and by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
We're back, Bank of America Stadium, fourth quarter, 28-16, Panthers over the Chiefs. Alex Smith's work done long ago. He played pretty well tonight. Aaron Murray in the game right now, as his Chiefs down by 12. Look, Anthony Thomas back in the game, number one. A fake to him, and now they're going to dump it to Kelsey. Makes a nice move, and he's going to get to the 40. He's going to pick up about 5. So, John, even now in the fourth quarter, they bring back Thomas just to be a little bit of a decoy. It's going to be fun watching how they scheme with him and use him during the year.
You could just tell. I mean, I'm not giving away trade secrets because I think everyone can figure it out watching this tape. They like the young man. They're going to find a way. Andy Reid is one of the most creative offensive minds in this league. And he's going to find a way to get the young man. When you have world-class speed, he's going to find a way to get you on the field. He also loves the fact that Anthony Thomas says he loves football. He's a grinder, and Andy Reid likes those kind of guys.
It's a third down for Murray, and it comes near side, and ball is jarred loose. And is it a fumble? No, incomplete pass. That's a heck of a hit by Josh Thomas. And incomplete. It was intended for A.J. Jenkins.
And that's really finishing the play. Violent hands. Sean McDermott, the defensive coordinator, talks about him. Violent hands, and Josh Thomas.
He gets this, John?
Well, remember with the catch, I think you have to take it home and give the ball to your mom these days, because they talk about controlling it through the process of going to the ground. It always seems like a very long process, but that's the way they describe it.
Funny, I was reading the rule book with that exact phrase in it today. That's pretty funny. Well, bottom line, incomplete, no review, and so it'll be a punt. Philly Brown waiting back at the 10. We got a flag delay of game. Did that one on purpose so Colquitt can have a little bit of room.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, still fourth down.
All right. I'll move Colquitt and company back. Kuechly's still in the game.
You gotta love that, and that's why the guy's a great football player. He's got the skill, but he loves the game as well. I mean, he's still in the game, counting people on special teams.
Here is Philly Brown. Fair catch right at the 10. Carolina football. A little contact, too, and we get a flag. We'll sort that on out. We come back. 28-16, Carolina over Kansas City. You will be seeing on Fox this year, well, besides us, is this guy. You know him, the former Giant. Dave Deal is here, and Dave, you're going to be doing games on Fox this year, freshly retired from the Giants, 2 Super Bowl wins, Pro Bowl player on that offensive line, and you and Tom Brennan are working together. First of all, man, you are enormous. I mean, look at this guy.
Small in here.
Unbelievable. How are you?
I'm unbelievable, and I couldn't be more excited to join the Fox on NFL team. And you know, it's just great to be able to provide the information and everything that I've learned that the NFL has provided for me and my daughter throughout the years. So to be able to come here and be a part of this, and and actually be a part of a team like this. I know tomorrow I'm not going to be sore like these guys, like I have the last 11 years after a preseason game. But like I said, I couldn't be more happy to be here, and the Fox family has welcomed me with open arms, and I'm more excited than ever.
Well, David, you know, we talk about players having their welcome to the NFL moment. You had a little welcome to the broadcasting world moment today. Tell us about your boards.
You know, I'm waking up in the morning, and here comes the maid into my room. I'm about to leave. And I told her, hold on 1 second, you know, let me go move my stuff, and all I hear is, oh no. Coffee all over my boards, my notebooks, everything. That wasn't the way I thought I'd start off my debut here, but you gotta midstream adjust it. Yeah. What a great start to the morning today. But you know, like I said, you got to be ready, you got to be prepared, and the good thing is, you know, we had a great time at practice this week, watching and listening to the coaches, and that's the best thing about this is we can provide, you know, fans and people, you know, aspects of game that we've seen throughout our lives and throughout our careers, and most importantly, we've been fans of this game long before we were players or anything, or an analyst or announcer. So to be able to be a part of this and be in the stadium every Sunday like I am, freshly being off of retired, there's no better feeling.
All right, we're going to come back with you, David. We got a timeout on the field. Panthers 28, Chiefs 16. And I kid, we're actually going to stay here. We're going to keep here for a second. Well, how about this game, right? Coming in, you've been watching this game. What's your impressions taken away from the Chiefs and the Panthers tonight?
You know what? You got to give Andy Reid a lot of credit. He's let his guys play, and this is going to be the second year in a row that this offensive line is the youngest in the NFL. So, you know, Eric Fisher had some issues tonight. Some guys had some penetration or pressures, but you got to let them play. You know, you're talking about a guy who goes up against Tom Bahali and Houston and all these guys during practice, but there's no way to simulate a game situation and a game speed. So, you know, even though, you know, there may have been some struggles, I'm confident in his abilities. I think that he's going to be able to get the job done at left tackle. You know, obviously he's getting more comfortable as he goes along, moving from the right tackle position to the left tackle. But there's a reason why they drafted him and brought him into this organization, because they feel he's the future of it.
How about this Carolina Panthers? A lot of new faces on their offensive line. I thought they settled in and actually played pretty well here tonight.
I did too. You know, early on it seemed like they didn't get in a good rhythm or tempo of the game. But once they started running the ball effectively, you know, they got play action going. They were able to do some different things to take shots downfield. And you saw every time that they got down here into the red zone, running the ball effectively is what put those touchdowns on the board.
Well, let me ask you, so in the grander scheme of things, Carolina has the ball in the fourth quarter. We talked to David Deal, who's joining us on Fox this year. Can't wait. He'll be with Tom Brenneman. We started talking about some of the big storylines in the NFL. You saw it there. Let's start with Seattle. Not to bring up a sore spot from last year. You played them, didn't fare well. You got shut out in that game.
Yeah, I know two guys that had that game too. They're sitting right next to me, unfortunately.
We did have that game. Sorry, Dave. But so you saw them firsthand is what I'm getting at. Can they repeat? Are they that type of team that you think is in position to do that again?
I think that they can. They've got a very, very good defense that, you know, even losing some guys, they didn't skip a beat. And, you know, we talked about watching that Denver game, you know, having 18 guys out of that game and still being competitive with the first group of the Broncos and still almost winning that game against the Broncos team who came in upset and determined to come away with a win. So, you know, when you've got that much depth at each position and everybody buys into the system, that's when you have the results that you have.
Dave, it is great seeing you. I feel like I have a personal protector on the road when you're around, so that's been good. And seriously, best of luck. Have a great year.
Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to it.
It'll be a great addition to the Fox family.
I couldn't be happier.
David Deal, of course, just fresh off the field from the Giants, 11 years there, 2 Super Bowls, and now going to be calling games. You'll hear him plenty. So it's good to see David. We had Randy up here, we had David up here, and we got 7:54 to go here in Charlotte. Panthers have the football. Joe Webb still in at quarterback. And a second down and 8. Still blitzing is Bob Sutton, but Webb's going to come near side, air and out. King had it and dropped it. Tavares King almost made a nice catch, but it went right through his hands.
And when you blitz like Bob Sutton, you're going to set up these one-on-ones. These Kansas City corners have to get used to it. You see some hand fighting, but DeMarcus Van Dyke does a really nice job staying right there with Tavares King, getting his hand in on that ball. It's good defensive back play. Didn't panic, looked and leaned and found the ball, got his hand up.
3rd down and 8. Another blitz, and Webb going to get it out. Fozzie Whitaker breaks a tackle, and Whitaker out to the 45. Nicely done at a 1st down. Cam's excited. 22 yards on the game.
And when I look down and watch this Fozzie Whitaker run, this is a guy, he's running to try to earn a job, and it's a tough job to earn with the running backs that they have. But these kind of efforts, if it doesn't happen here in Carolina, somebody else is watching this film. 32 teams in this league, and that's why Cam Newton's so excited. He sees the effort. That kind of effort is contagious on a team, and Fozzie Whitaker is showing it in an excellent fashion here tonight.
Here's Whitaker. And fighting off tackles. He's got a 1st down. I like the effort. Ron Rivera singled him out in our meeting with us. Said, hey, you got to watch this guy. We're watching.
It's just strong running. This guy is running hungry, running through tackles, churning his legs. He's a little guy, hard to find, hard to knock down. But he just runs fast everywhere. He runs out of bounds. He's running fast. You got to like the effort from Fozzie Whitaker.
7 carries, 39 yards, and a touchdown. That was an 11-yard run. So the shoelace takes him out of the game momentarily. And Barner back in, going nowhere. Nico Johnson in on the tackle. Bring up a 2nd down and 10. Tell you what, when you're Fozzie Whitaker, you get 3 guys clearly in front of you with Jonathan Stewart and D'Angelo Williams and Tolbert right there in front of you. But there's still room. 2nd down and Webb, and he's got a completion to the 40 to Tyquan Underwood, and he gets down to the 39. Marcus Van Dyke after a 5-yard catch. I'm curious, you know, in this day and age with roster spots so important, interesting to see which teams, you know, which teams take a 3rd quarterback and which teams don't. You really don't have to have one anymore. But Joe Webb trying to show you he belongs after a good week last week. Third down and 5. Pressure, and Webb still on his feet, and now swarmed, and the ball comes loose, and they're going to blow it dead. They're going to blow it dead. Webb really got slammed to the ground there by 3 Kansas City Chiefs. I think that Vance Walker, the former Raider, was there first, and now the Chiefs will have to punt it away.
Vance Walker was in there. Look at Joe Webb. This is the life of an NFL quarterback. Grasp and control. Vance Walker has him. Here comes D Ford, the 1st-round draft choice. He's going to come join the party. Joe Webb still fighting till the very end. Jerome Boger calls it dead right there.
Brad Nortman to punt. Frankie Hammond back deep for Kansas City. Actually, it's Jordan Gay to punt.
I think Andy's going to ask Jerome Boger, hey, I want to challenge that. I think that's a fumble. But I believe there is the challenge flag. But I think Jerome Boger will say, Andy, put that flag away. I blew it dead. So there really is no challenge. See him clearly in the grasp and the way they try to protect these quarterbacks these days.
That could be a challenge there. Andy's still making a case. But progress is stopped. Whistle blew, and can't review that one.
The rule on the field was that the quarterback was in the grass. The play would not be reviewed. 4th down.
And so Carolina will punt it away. And again, it's Frankie Hammond back to receive. He's made a couple big plays. He had a nice return earlier called back. He's got 2 catches for 50 yards. From the practice squad last year. Picked him up from the University of Florida. And now just some stalling on the field. Not sure what's going on. The ball is spotted. But there's a little convention around the 45.
You see Frankie Hammond right there. You think, Kev, with...
Please reset the play clock to 10 seconds for an administrative stoppage. 10 seconds on the play clock. Thank you.
With Dwayne Bowe out week 1, they're going to have the luxury of carrying another receiver. Now, you missed Dwayne Bowe, but guys like Frankie Hammond, Albert Wilson's guy who's not playing tonight, but they've been very impressed with. Someone's going to have an opportunity to make this at least for 1 week. We'll see them continue to battle for those spots.
Not a good punch, and they'll let it go. Carolina downs it around the 23. 28-16, Panthers in front, 3:49 to play.
Tonight's game is sponsored by Corona, who invites you to find your beach.
The Chiefs and the Panthers join the NFL in celebrating USA Football Month and recognizing the 5,500 youth leagues and high schools nationwide, representing nearly 1 million players that have registered for Heads Up Football this season. Heads Up Football is the new standard in football, developed by USA Football and supported by the NFL, dedicated to making the game better and safer. Football parents, ask if your child's coach is USA Football certified. Visit usafootball.com to learn more. 3:49 to play, 28-16, Panthers over the Chiefs. Chief football with Aaron Murray, the former Georgia standout at the controls, and there's another catch. The guy we were just talking about, Frankie Hammond, number 85, out of Florida. Well, John, let me ask you this. In the NFL this year, there's always new coaches. There's 7 of them this year, new to the game. We showed you that a little while ago. Which one makes the biggest impact, do you think?
You know, I think the guy set up to make the biggest impact is Jim Caldwell in Detroit. And I think that because they have an extremely talented roster. I think they've played some undisciplined football in the last couple of years. And I think one thing Jim Caldwell, I've been around him. He's been on staffs that I played for. He's a disciplined guy. He's taken a team to the Super Bowl before. And I don't know if they're a Super Bowl team, but that's a very talented football team in Detroit, and I think they can make great strides with Jim Caldwell at the helm.
Yeah, it seems like the right hire. I mean, offensively, just alone, the talent is ridiculous. And with Bush and Joyke Bell, and they added Ebron, the tight end from North Carolina, Calvin Johnson, they had Golden Tate, and they're loaded. I like Lovie Smith in Tampa. I mean, I think that situation got pretty toxic last year with Greg Schiano, and I think they have a lot of talent on that team. Quarterback is a question, even though McCown was terrific in Chicago last year, but he's certainly that veteran presence. I feel like Lovie, he's got a good staff there. He brings Leslie Frazier in there. He brings in Tedford on the offense. I don't know. I think that's a good combination for that Tampa team. Another catch by Hammond, streaking down the middle, still on his feet. Frankie Hammond still going. This guy is opening the coach's eyes here. Hang on, there's a flag all the way back at the line of scrimmage. It would be a 51-yard gain.
Holding, offense, number 75. 10-yard penalty, replay, 3rd down.
So, Kevin, that will go down as a hold. Those yards won't count for Frankie Hammond, but those coaches, believe me, saw what Frankie Hammond just did. The explosion once he caught that ball. And there's the hold, that left arm of Rashad Johnson negates the long gain by Frankie Hammond. But Frankie Hammond just made a statement. Running the slant, selling it, getting upfield, then underneath, but then the yards after catch. That's what you have to do in this league, splitting the 2 safeties, making some moves. That's impressive football by Frankie Hammond.
And he might be a guy that can help in the return game, too. He's had a nice little second half here. Getting a little breather after what would have been a 51-yard catch. Instead, it moves him on back. 3rd and 13. Murray eludes pressure, throws a little behind the intended receiver. He's looking for A.J. Jenkins. And so the Chiefs will punt it away.
Kev, I'd be remiss. You know, I played for Lovie Smith for a long time down in Tampa, and I think it's awesome that they brought him back. He knows what it takes to be successful. He is a fantastic football coach. I just seem to think their roster as it's set up, Detroit's probably a little further along. Lovie Smith will get there with the Buccaneers, I have no doubt.
I don't think there's any question about the Lions' talent and the need for probably a disciplinarian. You know, going the other way after Jim Schwartz, who's now in Buffalo as a defensive coordinator. Philly Brown drops the ball. There's already a flag on the ground. And Philly going down to the ground. There's a penalty. We'll see what that is. 52-yard punt by Dustin Colquitt. Jerome Boger trying to sort this out.
Player out of bounds voluntarily on the punt. Kicking team number 30. The 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. Carolina keeps the ball. First down.
Here's Ron Rivera. Let's see what happens. Oh, he's out of bounds. Yep, Ron saw it. There it is. It's tank top weather in Charlotte.
It sure is.
That's for a warm summer night. 28-16 Panthers. And Matt Blanchard comes in, the fourth quarterback for Carolina today, with 2:46 to play. 28-16 Panthers on the return of Cam Newton back from ankle surgery. Had a nice day. Started off rusty and got hot. 2 weeks. We've got college football returning with a full week of games. Rutgers taking on Washington State. It's Colorado State battling Colorado. North Dakota State takes on Iowa State. And then Fresno State looks to upset 15th ranked USC on Fox. It all begins Thursday, August 28th. Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. I think that those are his buddies, John. I think that's exactly. There you go. They got the same hair. Right?
I guess.
I mean, you don't sound convinced. You don't sound convinced. Yeah, second down. For Matt Blanchard, you mentioned Wisconsin Whitewater. It's a Division III school. There's a handoff. It's Fozzie Whitaker. Look at this guy go. Waka, waka, waka. That's a heck of a run.
He's been impressive. He doesn't go down on arm tackles. He's got a burst to him. Securing the football. Again, you put this kind of effort on film. It may not be in Carolina, but he's making a great case for finding himself on an NFL roster.
He and Hammond of the Chiefs, they both had themselves a nice second half. Anyway, I just want to finish the note. So Matt Blanchard, right, played at Division III Wisconsin Whitewater. He was 45-0, John. Division III titles every year. Guy never lost a game in college.
Pretty good.
I mean, that's not bad.
Not bad at all.
So we got 2 more weeks of preseason to go before the opener, and we'll take a look at these team schedules to see how it plays out early. First, we'll do a 1st and 10. It's Whitaker, and he picks up about 3. Carolina with a timeout. So here's the schedule. Panthers, talking about Lovie Smith, they start at Tampa Bay, and then you talk about Jim Caldwell. There's Detroit, Pittsburgh, and at Baltimore.
You know, and it's interesting. Ron Rivera has been praying for more heat. He wants heat for these guys. It's been a mild summer for Carolina at training camp. He wants it hot because he knows it's going to be hot down in Tampa Bay. And he's right. I've been there. It will be hot. It will be humid. And he said, if it's not hot, we're going to have to start conditioning these guys. We hope that practice would be enough, but start running those wind sprint, Panthers, because in Tampa it will be hot, and your coach knows that.
And the NFC South is very interesting. Our first game is going to be in the NFC South. We've got the Saints and the Falcons, but I mean, you look at the division. We'll do the play first. It's a 2nd and 7. Whitaker been the workhorse here and fighting his way down the 35. It'll be a 3rd and short. It'll be the 2-minute warning, I believe. But I think the Saints are clearly the class the division. I shouldn't say clearly because the Panthers won it last year, but they've rolled it up. They got Jarris Bird and Champ Bailey now on that D. But Atlanta revamping this team, even though they had a great year revamping with the wide receivers, and then Tampa with a new coach trying to get there too. It's very interesting. We'll get your thoughts when we come back. We've hit the 2-minute warning. It's 28-16 Carolina. They've got reason to smile. Benjamin and Hardy with those scary looking contacts. Cam Newton's day though, he's back from ankle surgery. 2 minutes to play from Charlotte. So John, I was asking about the NFC South. What's your take on this division?
Well, I think if you just do deductive reasoning, it's not going to be Carolina because no one's ever repeated since 2002. There's been a new winner every single year. I was a member of those Tampa Bay Buccaneers, our Super Bowl year 2002 when we won it, but nobody's ever repeated in this division. But I do like the New Orleans Saints. The way their defense under Rob Ryan emerged last year, you couple that with Drew Brees and Sean Payton's genius on offense, tough team to beat.
Yeah, I mentioned the Falcons. Looks like they may have lost their left tackle too. Sam Baker got hurt last night when Jadeveon Clowney bull rushed him, and so who knows? The rookie Jake Matthews may be on the left side. Andy Reid and his Kansas City Chiefs got off to that 9-0 start. They made the division, made the playoffs. Lost in the wild card round in heartbreaking fashion, blowing a big 28-point lead. But to take a team that won 2 games 2 years ago and win 11 the very next year, well, that's something. Whitaker again. So how about we showed you Carolina's schedule? How about Kansas City's schedule and who they have? Starting out at Tennessee, they've got a new coach in Ken Whisenhunt, and then at Denver. Denver, you know all about them.
That's the thing. I mean, you're going to have to be able to, in that division, the AFC West, the Chargers are an emerging team, but the Denver Broncos, they've reloaded. They got embarrassed in the Super Bowl, and they didn't stand still. They went and got DeMarcus Ware. They went and got T.J. Ward. They went and got Aqib Talib. This is a team that's motivated. They're talented. You see New England, San Francisco. That's a tough schedule there for the Kansas City Chiefs.
And they play the NFC West, so you're dealing with Seattle, San Francisco, the Rams, and the Cardinals. So it's no picnic for Kansas City as we have a whistle. Even on the victory formation, we have a whistle.
Previous play is under review.
Kevin, we've seen with the NFC West before, not only a great division, but such a physical division. It's hard to stay healthy playing those guys.
Hard to believe. We've got a review. 52 seconds left. We'll be back. The booth review going on right now with 52 seconds left of this preseason game. How about this photo, John? Ron Rivera on Andy Reid's staff for 5 years.
That's some staff. I mean, you see those two. I see Jim Johnson, the late great Jim Johnson, John Harbaugh. Down over here, you got Brad Childress, Leslie Frazier, Steve Spagnuolo. All head coaches in this league at one point.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. First down.
John Harbaugh's in there. I mean, they're all over. And Andy Reid is a tremendous teacher. We talked to Alex Smith. What makes him so special?
Yeah.
He's a great teacher, whether it be players, whether it be coaches. The man loves football, and he loves teaching fundamental football. And you just feel it. You always feel so much energy and love for the game when you meet with Andy Reid. We had the opportunity to do so yesterday. One of my favorite people in the league.
Yeah, and Smith said, what, and he loves teaching, and nobody gets forgotten. He said guys in practice squad get the same teaching that the starters do. That was a pretty neat comment from Andy. 14 years in Philadelphia, and got to run one more victory formation. Played Sweet Caroline now 4 times. I think it's finally over here at Bank of America Stadium. So the Panthers get a victory in the return of Cam Newton as they take care of the Chiefs 28-16 in this Week 2 preseason matchup. And good to have football back on Fox with you. That is for sure. Raring to go for the regular season, just a couple weeks away. So the Panthers get the win over the Chiefs 28-16. We'll come back and wrap it up from Bank of America Stadium.